LV get back into this points race even closer.
Thanks, Dave. That's got to make Larry Dixon feel real good going down Kenny Bernstein Boulevard.
Well, at least it wasn't Miller Blue.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Marty Reed. He's Mike Dunn. Glad you're with us for 3.5 hours of final eliminations. Let's talk a little bit. We're on the subject of top fuel. Not one top fuel car made it down the track all 3 runs in qualifying, and only 2 in funny car.
Well, and that's going to be the key today, Marty. You're talking about consistency. The track conditions are very tricky at best. You're going to have to finesse these cars down the racetrack. The crew chiefs are going to earn their money, and the drivers if they get into a pedaling match where both cars smoke the tires. So it's going to be a total team effort if they're going to want to win today.
Take a look at the ladder. The arrow indicates who has the matchup. Some good ones there. McClenathan with Smith and Schumacher. Russell over on the right side. There's Kenny Bernstein up against Mitch King. And Dixon and Bernstein don't meet till the semifinals. Down on the starting line, engines have come to life. There's Doug Herbert. And I know what you're thinking. Clay Millican's over in the other lane. No, that was last week. It's going to be Scott Wise this week. And I don't think there's going to be any burn downs like there was at Reading. In fact, these guys don't have any history. This is the first time they've ever met, Mike.
Well, that's a big plus on the burn down situation because, you know, basically Doug Herbert felt that he got hung out on some other qualifying runs, and that's why he tried to make Clay Millican stage first. You're not going to see that problem here with, since they have no history, you're not going to see that problem with Doug Herbert and Scott Wise.
Well, of course, if you haven't been following that, after the big burn down, Doug made some comments about IHRA, where Clay is going for a championship. The president of that organization has demanded a public apology. So far, nothing has come in that respect from Doug. And we are in the home of Clay Millican, Memphis. He lives here. Then he has some fans here at the race, and they wanted to remind Doug of that. You know, on the positive side for Doug, he hasn't suffered a first-round loss since Topeka. That's a total of 10 races.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny West has done pretty good at getting the car, at least into the second round. They haven't seemed to be able to run the big numbers to go a little bit farther. But, you know, they got Scott Wise, and in qualifying on Friday night, he was on a very good run. He had numbers to run basically a 463. What happened was it started putting cylinders out just past half track. He felt it, shut it off, and ran a 477. So he's definitely capable of doing something here, but it's completely different conditions right now.
No contest, 472 at 306. Doug Herbert keeps the string going. And he is at 306 on this one. A little smoke at the end. Parker, let's check in with you.
Well, Marty, with so much attention placed with the Top Fuel Championship between Larry Dixon and Kenny Bernstein, you might discount the rest of the field. But trust me, for Darrell Russell and Tony Schumacher in this first-round matchup, the number 3rd in the points, number 5th in the points, it is big. Both of these drivers friendly in the staging lanes, but as soon as they pulled those helmets on, you could see the intensity in their eyes. 5 races left. That means there are 5 potential wins left. Both of these drivers, they want it for the glory. They want it for the team.
And Tony Schumacher, in their prior 4 times, has won 3 of those matchups. Let's take another look at this run.
Well, Scott Wise got a slight jump off the starting line. By 3:30, he was still side-by-side with Doug Herbert before he had engine problems. He couldn't possibly give him a very good race. Doug Herbert, on the other hand, Johnny West did exactly what they wanted to do. Ran that 472. Car was nice and stuck. You know, a fairly conservative pass, but you got to consider the conditions and all the other factors. You're going to see it here stuck, and then right at the top end, it just puts the cylinder out before the finish line. Still went 306 miles an hour. That's exactly what they were looking for.
Now you're looking in the eyes of Doug Paletta. This guy on Monday at Reading had one spectacular day. 4 passes in the 450s. He punches out both beer wagons, but here we are just less than a week later, and he's not having that kind of performance numbers here.
No, not at all. You know, I mean, he qualified number 10, and he's running John Smith, who qualified number 7.
Some of the track conditions and the fact that they've changed so much. On Friday night when we raced our very first round of qualifying, the humidity was stifling. There was actually fog rolling into the far end of this racetrack. And yesterday, for our 2 qualifying passes, lots and lots of sunshine. Same kind of sunshine we've got right now, but today, for some reason, it seems like it's about 10 degrees cooler. The racetrack's about 96 degrees. And you mentioned it, crew chiefs are going to have their work cut out for them. A very tight racetrack. Memphis gets when it's cool like this.
Well, the one thing we have today that we haven't had is a bit of a breeze. It's coming straight down from the far end of the track towards the starting line.
Well, and you know that makes the humidity go down. I mean, with the pressure coming in, the humidity's down a little bit. They can make more horsepower, but with the sun out, they don't need the extra horsepower because the track is not going to be as tight as it would be in, say, a night session or with the overcast skies.
There is Doug today. What about last Monday? Well, this is what it looked like at Reading. Kalita against Bernstein. Bernstein turned in a good number, but Kalita was on a rail.
Great run by Doug Kalita. He doesn't have it this weekend, though. That car has spun the tires on every one of its qualifying runs. Ran a couple 490s, and then finally ran a 479 in that last session. They need to step up a little bit.
Kalita's in trouble. John Smith is going to get to the line first, and for the first time in his career, he has defeated Doug, and Connie says, oh, no. 541, it wasn't pretty, 252 miles an hour, but it was even uglier for Doug Kalita.
Boy, Doug and Connie just never had a handle on this racetrack, and it shows here again. Look at that thing, hiked the front end up. That thing was hooked up off the starting line, but just like Larry Dixon, when it did, it moved over towards the wall, started to get out of the groove. When the tires started to shake, when Doug was bringing it back, it slid the back end out from underneath him. That allowed the tires to spin even easier. There you see Doug trying to backpedal to get it to recover, but by then John Smith, even though he was spinning the tires, was too far ahead for Doug to be able to recover and catch up with him.
And Doug oiled the track, so we've got a little downtime. Next up, it'll be Tony Schumacher and Darrell Russell, a big first-round matchup in Top Fuel, and we've got to take commercial break. Let's take you down to Beale Street.
The NHRA invades Memphis.
That's Turbo 350, and Friday night they were jamming for a group of NHRA fans.
Did you hear what I said earlier? When that motor's making horsepower and that nitro is just belching out of them pipes and she's smoking the tires, you can't calm the car down, you can't even cool it down. But you can always cool the driver down. With power. Now, is that sucking up or what?
When you want to be the best, you have to work at it. Time in the classroom, hours of studying. You won't find this kind of dedication everywhere, but you will at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Our team members spend hours in product knowledge and customer service training. Our parts specialists are independently tested and certified by Automotive Service Excellence. When you need auto parts at everyday low prices, go to the real parts professionals. O'Reilly Auto Parts. You want it? We got it.
Kenny Bernstein, 6-time NHRA World Champion with over 500 career victories. When you've won it all, where do you go from there? Here's to 23 years of no limits. Go Kenny, go Kenny.
Looking for some real thrills? Presenting the world's most powerful sport ATV, the 660R Raptor from Yamaha. For the ultimate in performance, nothing else cuts it. For a limited time, get 0% financing and 0 down on every Yamaha ATV.
Today's Speed World event, final eliminations of the O'Reilly Mid-South Nationals, brought to you by NHRA. O'Reilly Auto Parts, your race headquarters. And Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with the crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. And the burnouts have just been completed for our next pair. Coming to the line, it'll be Rhonda Hartman-Smith and Bruce Litton. And Tony Schumacher, Darrell Russell to follow. Let's go back, take another look at what happened to Doug Coletta. This reminds you of something that happened earlier in the weekend.
Yeah, we saw the same thing happen to Larry Dixon on his last qualifying run yesterday. I think this is the reason, one of the reasons you're going to see most of the teams with lane choice choose the left lane. Seems like when the cars are leaving, they're picking the front end up and carrying it towards the wall, get them a little bit out of the groove.
Let's take a look at Larry's run from yesterday.
Just like Doug Coletta, hikes the front end up. Now look at him turning the wheels. That thing starts pointing to the wall, trying to get that thing back in there, but then the back end just slides out to the side, gets into the tire smoke, almost identical to what we saw happen with Doug Coletta.
There is Rhonda Hartman, looking for her 8th first-round win of the season. Last week, Monday, had husband John for the first time ever, and she red-lit, and he went up in smoke.
You know, Rhonda's got to be thinking about that, but I don't think she's going to make that mistake. She's looked pretty good this weekend. Bruce Litton only made one run, qualified with that 480. He's going to be trying to look for the upset here.
Well, they've met 2 times this year, and for the second time, Bruce Litton parks Rhonda 478, 306 to a 481 at 300 miles an hour. Close race. Both cars got down the track.
Great side-by-side race. You know, Bruce Litton, like we said, only came in, made one run, ran that 480, tuned her up just a little bit, ran a 478. He had Rhonda a little bit off the starting line. You see Rhonda get a little bit loose through the middle. When that happened, you saw the cylinder go out because the load wasn't on the engine to help burn all that fuel. I think that probably cost her the run.
You're on board with Tony Schumacher in the Army of One. Darrell Russell has just done his burnout. The big first-round matchup between number 3 in the points right there in the left lane and number 5 in the points over in the right lane. Parker?
Well, Marty, we see drivers taking on oxygen in their tow vehicles down in the staging lanes, but this is the first time I've seen a driver take oxygen in the car. Tony Schumacher, moments before they fired, disconnected the oxygen cannula from his helmet. It tells you what a big matchup this is. He's taking Darrell Russell very seriously. Dave?
Let me tell you about the challenges facing Wayne Dupuis and Darrell Russell. Just had a chance to talk with him, and he told me about a little bit of a one-sided racetrack. The tendency here at Memphis Motorsports Park is for the right lane to have a little bit of a bump in it, just past the 400-foot mark of this racetrack. So for Wayne Dupuis going up in a big points race here, he's talked about having to really pull this thing back, retard the ignition, and then bringing it back in slowly so they hopefully don't break the tires free. Bill?
And the upset-minded Bruce Litton goes 478 to advance.
Praise the Lord. You know, Lucas Cars, we've just been out here running as much as we can and having a good old time, and Rhonda's a good gal. We really like her, and, you know, just one of those things. Hey, maybe every once in a while the line squirrel finds them out, but we do the best we can, and we're having a great time.
Hard-working guys don't make all the races, but it's always fun to see them when they do well.
You saw the flames at the finish line, but Tony Schumacher, just like the first round at Indy, puts Darrell Russell on the trailer with a 465 at 317 to a 479, but he hurt the motor.
Yeah, he hurt it big time, and, you know, Darrell Russell was actually ahead of Tony Schumacher at the 330-foot mark, and then that 400-foot mark where Wayne Dupuis was worried about that bump, it looked like he backed her off a little bit too much.
Oh, and Tony shreds the left rear tire. Safety Safari crew there, he's okay. Dave Reef?
Here's Dan Olson looking up on the Motel 6 vision, seeing they've got a left rear down. The result that you wanted, but maybe not the way you got there.
No, we weren't looking for that at all. Again, I don't know what happened, but hopefully it's something minor. We can fix it.
Pretty happy to get that win, though. That's a big points race.
Yeah, any win right now is a good win, especially if, you know, Russell runs good. So, but yeah, we're happy.
These guys are hard at it, though. Heading back to the pits already. Get to work.
Let's take another look right at the finish line, Mike.
Right before the finish line, put a cylinder out, then you see the flame come shooting out. Normally that's an indication, obviously, to let that tire go down, that some parts had come out of the car, cut down the one Goodyear tire on the left-hand side of the car, but luckily it doesn't look like the tire went down to just about the time Tony was going to get her stopped anyway, so there should be a minimum amount of damage to the chassis, and that's the main concern right now.
Just listen. take one more look, and there is the fireball.
You know, we saw the fire inside the cockpit. Tony obviously knew it was on fire. You saw him trying to get that car stopped as fast as he can, on the brakes very hard, because I mean, when it's on fire, you got to get that thing stopped quick because you don't know what can happen. You saw some pieces fly out there. Obviously, something went underneath that tire and cut it for it to go down. But luckily, like we said, it was towards the end of the run, so they have skid pads on the bottom of these chassis so that when the tire does go out, it doesn't, screw up the bottom frame rail, basically, so that they will be able to come back. They'll just be able to replace that skid pad, hopefully, fix the damage on the engine and be back for next round.
And you can see that they're going to put another tire on and then be able to tow Tony back to the pits, and he'll begin the 75-minute turnaround. There is Andrew Cowan. He's up next against Paul Romine.
On an all-new Beg, Borrow, and Deal, while Team Kobe is playing catch with an NFL quarterback.
It's this far. This is impossible.
It's all you.
Yeah!
Team Contact is just playing catch up.
I can't do anything from upstate New York. I feel so helpless.
Both teams have hit the road, but who exactly is driving the bus?
Tempers start to flare. I don't like politics.
10 tasks, 2 teams, 4,000 miles.
There ain't no stopping us now. We're going to get there.
Beg, Borrow, and Deal, the new reality game show from ESPN, Tuesday at 8.
When you've got a serious leak, it's time for Leak Ender 2000. It fixes any leak fast, no matter what's leaking. Just spray it with Leak Ender 2000, and in minutes, the leak is sealed. Look, we'll cut this garden hose with a knife, then shut off the water and spray on Leak Ender 2000. Minutes later, the hose is as good as new. The cut is sealed. Leak Ender 2000 is a unique compound that fills and seals any crack or separation as it hardens. Why put up with gushing gutters, dripping drains, wet windowsills, and rain-soaked RVs? Leak Ender 2000 stops all those leaks, and it's yours for only $14.95. Call now and we'll double your order. We'll send you this giant-sized can at no extra charge. Order now.
To order, have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-554-9000 or send check or money order for $14.95 plus $4 shipping to the address on your screen. Call 1-800-554-9000.
Back here at the O'Reilly Mid-South Nationals, the race car is still in the race area, on the track in the shutdown area. And what was interesting, during the commercial break, they're just beginning to tow the vehicle off now, Mike, but we were noticing the guys were not wasting a moment.
Well, with only 75 minutes between rounds, they have to get that car ready. They were actually pulling the plug wires off and getting the fuel lines off. Here we see on replay again, it happened right before the lights because he went almost 318 miles an hour, so you know it happened just before the finish. We saw the cylinder just go out just before the finish, and then the flame came out like it possibly kicked some rods out, and then Tony Schumacher did a great job of getting that car stopped fast without any major damage.
Well, you can hear the pop, see the fire.
Yeah, you can see Tony getting on the brakes hard to get that thing stopped. And that's a good thing, especially when the tire goes out. Once he felt that tire go out, I'm sure he really got on the brake because he wanted to get that car stopped so it wasn't dragging on them skid pads enough to where it actually got into the chassis and done some major damage.
Now, the thing to remember is, a couple of years ago, right here on this racetrack, Tony had a horrible crash over in the right lane. And let's go back and take you to 2000. Gary Scelzi in the left lane.
Without a doubt, one of the worst crashes I've ever seen. And I was actually doing the telecast at that race at that time, and there were a few tense moments as that happened.
And Bill has Tony.
I flashed back to 2000. How about you?
No, not at all. 2000 went over the wall. This time I kept it in the middle. Tell you, it was a good run. You know, I looked up, saw the wind light come on, and bang, and it popped pretty hard. And we did it on yesterday's morning run. We had something in the number 8 piston on the top of it banging around, hung a valve, and it blew the blower apart. That one there, it looked like it blew the whole front of the manifold off. So it's a different manifold. It's got the burst panel on the front, and we have a titanium plate there. So, boy, I'll tell you what, without that plate, I'd have a big headache right now. That thing did its job.
Did you feel the heat behind you?
I did. It burned both gloves up pretty good, but, you know, that's why we wear all the great Simpson products, man. There's nothing in the world like the protection they provide. And the seat belts and the Hans, that Hans is worth it's going to save millions of lives. I mean, that was an intense explosion, put my head forward, but it can only move so far because of that chain. And, you know, thank God those guys came up with that kind of thing. It's been around for a while, and it's up to us to be smart enough to use that. But for the Army, that was a great run, a 65. You know, that was only equaled by our qualifying run on Friday night. We got a lot of people from Gates Belts and Matco Tools here, and I know that
I know that we put a little bit of that Lucas oil out, but hopefully that's a lot easier to clean up than them other oils.
Car okay?
Car's, well, you know, when that tire come off, I knew it was going down. I was on the radio saying, man, we got a tire going down. And at that point, it's real important to get it stopped before you get on that skid plate. You get on that skid plate and you'll do some tweaking on that thing. I think I got it stopped right as it hit it, so it should be perfect. We'll have to change some wires. We had a little bit of fire up there, but all in all, man, it's another round win. It wasn't nearly as bad as 2000.
Nice job.
It was a nice job, Bill. And back at the starting line, there's your number 1 qualifier, Andrew Cowan, up against Paul Romine. They met once earlier, and that was back at round 1 at Indy. Cowan won that one.
Paul Romine's the kind of guy you can never take for granted. Even though he struggled in qualifying, only ran that 5:06. Andrew Cowan's slowest run would be able to beat that. They haven't, you know, Paul Romine has a tendency to rise on race day. He tends to, every once in a while, like I like to say, take a shot at the tree where he'll kind of anticipate it. And a lot of times you get a very good light. So you got to take that into consideration. And then the fact he's got Jimmy Walsh over there. Jimmy Walsh is a good tuner. He knows how to run a race car. And, you know, sometimes it just takes a few runs to get these things together. But Andrew Cowan has never looked better. I mean, that car really looked good qualifying. The last run, they spun the tires a little bit down track, put the cylinders out, lost the belt. But other than that, this car's been flawless.
Of course, Mike Green gets a lot of the credit for that New York Yankees top fueler and the turnaround that they've had. Cowan in the left lane, Romine in the right. Romine's up in smoke. And Cowan has some cylinders out and only manages a 495 at 273, so he dodges a bullet because if Romine could have got down the track, he might have been able to snatch that one from him.
Well, he definitely could have. I mean, it was kind of similar to what Cowan had problems with yesterday with cylinders going out down track. Let's watch Paul Romine. He leaves here. Look at that. Right immediately after he hit the throttle, there was no chance to get that thing to recover. Even if he had gotten that thing to recover, he was not going to be able to run quick enough to beat a 495 that Andrew Cowan ran.
We've got to take another break. There's Kenny Bernstein. He's up against Mitch King when we come back to Memphis Motorsports Park.
No up or down. Introducing Mach 3 Turbo. Total comfort whether you shave down or up. A new anti-friction coating on all 3 blades. Plus a new strip releases even more lubrication. So even against the grain, you get less irritation and the closest shave. It's turning the shaving world upside down. Mach 3 Turbo. New from Gillette. Try new Gillette Series Shave Gel and get skin care with every shave.
Which is a classic example of return on investment. Perhaps you have an example, sir?
Certainly. Dell PC. Allow me to demonstrate. A Dell Expert helps you get the right PC for you. Add the powerful mobile Pentium 4 processor in. Sweet. Factor in award-winning service and support, and you get great value for minimum investment. Cost-benefit analysis would be redundant.
Impressive. Not so fast, talks a lot.
Call or go online now and get an Inspiron notebook for $11.99, featuring a mobile Intel Pentium 4 processor M with awesome performance for music, digital photos, gaming, and beyond. For a limited time, you'll get a free CD burner or DVD upgrade. Other notebooks start at just $9.99. Act now and you could even win a new BMW. Easy to buy, easy to own, easy as Dell.
Hey, we've got Sunday Night Football coming up here on ESPN. It's the Bengals against the Falcons. And, of course, Atlanta led by Michael Vick. Gotta see exciting. NFL Primetime presented by Miller Lite starts it off at 7:30 Eastern Time and the game at 8:30. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Kenny Bernstein Boulevard. And KB going to try and take a nice leisurely drive here at about 300-plus miles an hour and put Mitch King out of the ballpark. While all this is going on, let's check Dave's in Tony Schumacher's pit.
And the U.S. Army dragster has just come in. You see it going up on the jack, and while most of the attention looks like it's being placed on side of that engine and getting everything replaced and some of the oil cleaned up, one of the first things they're going to have to do is take a look at the underside of that left car. That's where the tire shredded and got down on the skid plate and make sure all those bars are straightened. But as you can see, there's a big thrash down here, making sure this car is going to be okay to go to round 2.
Yeah, and they just made some changes to that car that has helped in their turnaround. Last 3 races, they've made it to the semifinals, of course, winning Indy.
And remember, Marty, that was a brand new race car, too, not that long ago.
Mitch King and Kenny Bernstein, they've never met in competition. Well, Kenny runs a very nice 466 at 315. Mitch gave it a good ride at 487 at 294, but there was no way he was going to be able to top Kenny Bernstein. As we go to the far end, Bill's with Andrew Cowan.
Hey, did you lose your brakes?
Yeah. I mean, the thing was turning the tires out there, and I grabbed the brake a few times to try to get that thing to quit. But hey, for Mac and MBNA and Ray Parsons and all the Yicky fans everywhere, I mean, we've got spare brakes in the fisted thing, but I was a little worried, you know, pulling this thing off. I mean, we're probably lucky we only went 95, but it would have been in the sand trap. But for Darrell Gwynn, my family at home, everyone, this is great. Thank you.
Man, he could have gone to Little Rock.
Let's go back and check this run.
Kenny Bernstein, Tim Richards did exactly what they needed to do. You saw him get over towards the wall a little bit out of the groove, it looks like. You see there's the groove right there, and he's well out of it over there. It slid around a little bit, put a cylinder out just before the finish, probably because it did get out of the groove and spun the tires a little bit more, but still ran a great 466 at 315. I think the General's got a pretty good handle on this race car.
Missed being low for the round by 1/100th of a second. Parker?
Well, I had a question for Mike. Paul Romine, when he did his burnout, did it straight down the track, but when he actually made his run, he went hard left. When Mitch King came up, they purposefully had him burn out right over those tracks where Paul Romine had left, and then when on his run, he went even further to the left. And what you can see is that the groove at the start line is moving farther and farther to the left in that right lane. Is that normal, Mike?
Well, we mentioned at the first part of the show that we've seen a lot of the cars, Larry Dixon and Doug Coletta in that first run, go off to the right-hand side. A lot of times they'll burn out and try to, you know, start making the car move to the left. As a driver, if you see cars and if you know that that's happening, you'll stage the car and you'll point it towards the inside a little bit. You even still see Paul Romine's car that picks the front end up, and the front end starts to go to the wall, but then the back end came around the opposite way of Doug Coletta and Larry Dixon. So it's just a call by the crew chief, and you have to just be ready for any situation.
Bill's at the far end. Hey, Bill, Kenny has now faced 134 different racers in his career.
And each and every round, Kenny, now so important.
Yeah, it's been that way for how long? 2 years? But that's true now, of course. First rounds are tough. They always are. The Mitch gave us a heck of a run. Again, Tim Richards and the team did a great job. We just have to keep it going. You know, today's a real important day.
Kenny was not taking Mitch lightly. You'll remember back in Houston, Mitch King beat Larry Dixon in round 1.
Yes, and he also took care of Tony Schumacher at St. Louis, but then was later disqualified when he didn't have the proper fuel mixture above the 90% rule. Down on the starting line now, Corey McClenathan and Mike Smith. And we're at the top of the hour, and if you're just tuning in, I want to welcome you to the 15th running of the O'Reilly Mid-South Nationals. I'm Marty Reed, along with Mike Dunn, Bill Stevens, Dave Reed, and Harper Johnstone, patrolling the pit lane area. And we've got a beautiful day for racing. We've had 5 runs so far. The winners have been Doug Herbert, Andrew Cowan, Tony Schumacher, Kenny Bernstein, John Smith, Bruce Litton, and now we're going to find out who's going to advance here between Corey McClenathan and Mike Smith. These two have never met in competition.
And Corey McClenathan, I mean, you qualify with a 462. Struggled yesterday, couldn't get down the racetrack. They spun the tires on both the runs. And you got to remember, Corey's coming off that red light at Reading, you know, and I know as a driver, when I red light, usually my next race, I would be a little bit late because he'd be overcautious. And I kind of think Corey's going to be that way because he figures if the car goes down from A to B, Wes Ernie's going to have a good enough tune-up that it should be able to beat Mike Smith, but you still can't give him too much.
Well, and let me correct one thing. It's the first time they haven't met in 2002. They've met 8 times total. Great race. At the stripe, 471, 300 miles an hour to a 478 for Mike Smith at 306. And Corey McClenathan was pretty close to being out of here.
Well, just like we talked about, Corey was conservative on the light. A 5:37 reaction time to Mike Smith's 5:10. Mike Smith had almost 300ths of a second off the starting line and almost took Corey out. Corey just on the other end was able to get by just at the finish line right there. Boy, that was tough.
One more pair of top fuelers, and then we'll have funny car and pro stock coming your way here in first round action at the O'Reilly Mid-South Nationals.
Hey, Mr. Manzo. How you doing? Oh, we got the spaghetti stains out. Oh, thank you. Real fancy wheels you got there. Thank you.
Kendall GT1. Good for everyday use. No matter what kind of car you drive.
Jane and Roger spend every day saving tyres. Their secret? Slime tyre sealant. It's fast, safe, and the results? They're simply amazing. Slime your tyres.
You probably wouldn't know it by looking at me now, but I used to have a hair loss problem.
Whether you're just starting to thin or experiencing advanced hair loss, Hair Club has an option that's right for you. Call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB now for this free booklet.
So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and make the call, because after all, you can't hit a home run if you don't get up to bat.
If you'd like to get more hair, call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB today.
Can't imagine how big that was for Canada to win that gold medal. And we waited a long time, and now after 50 years, that the gold medal's back. So that's
Tell me
great.
something. What kind of cheese you got there?
What kind of cheese?
Yeah, what kind of cheese?
American.
That's right. American cheese.
American
cheese. American cheese.
Welcome back to Memphis Motorsports Park, where the work continues in Tony Schumacher's U.S. Army dragster camp. You can see that the entire block has been stripped out of this. They've checked the frame rails, and the news there is good. Looks like this car is perfectly straight, but guys still dealing with lots and lots of very, very hot parts. And let me give you an idea just how hot some of these parts are. These are the clutch discs that have just come out of this car. Within about 10 minutes of them running, you can see those things have already cooled down to about 315 degrees. They were up about 730 degrees, so lots of hot work down here. Getting ready to put in a brand new bullet, though.
And you saw them spraying all the chassis parts, Mike. What were they putting on there?
Well, usually brake clean, you know, or some type of solvent to get the oil off it. And as they do that, they're checking the lines to make sure no lines are burnt, looking everything over, make sure there's no cracks in the chassis as they clean it.
At the far end, Bill has Corey McLenithan.
Man, he made you work for that one.
Yeah, it really did. You know, we had to back it off a little bit. Yesterday, we smoked tires both times. And, I mean, Western, he told me the rest of the season we're going to be aggressive, but there's times where you got to back it off and times where you can be aggressive. This is one of those times.
Talking about first-round upsets 3 years ago in Gainesville. Mike Smith upset Corey Mack, who had a very good car that weekend in Gainesville.
And Chris Karamazini has upset on his mind. These two have met only once in their careers. That was back in 2001 in Columbus. Greek took a shot at the tree, and I think he's going to probably try it again. He went red in that one.
I mean, he usually does take a shot at the tree, but, you know, every once in a while he comes up with a great reaction time, but it's tough to do that, trying to anticipate what that when that light's going to come on. Larry Dixon, he's going to go up there and just do his job. He's not concerned with what the Greek's going to do. He's just going to go up there and try to hit his, you know, 480 to 50 reaction time, let that Dick LaHaye tune-up give him to the other end, hopefully ahead of the Greek.
And for Larry's wife, Allie, she's back in Indianapolis expecting their second child any day. I know she's watching. Hubby's about to go racing, Allie. Yeah, the Greek tried it. He was close. He was 8/1000th from being perfect, but Chris Karamazini's goes red, and Dixon goes low for the round. 462 at 317. So LD sends a message to Kenny Bernstein and everybody else. You're going to have to deal with me today. Arrow indicates who's got lane choice after round number 1. Heading into second round action. Herbert and Schumacher, Bernstein, and Dixon. We got to take commercial break. When we come back, we'll turn our attention to Funny Car here at Memphis.
time to rock and roll. This is what it's all about. NFL 2002 is here, and this year's Sports Illustrated and NFL Films want to knock you out with the ultimate NFL package. A great 3-gift set you can't get anywhere else, plus all the twists and turns of another exciting NFL season every week in the pages of Sports Illustrated. Get in the game with the official NFL Films highlight video of your favorite team, available on DVD or VHS, plus an NFL team bobblehead doll, both free with your paid subscription.
Yeah, baby!
When you use your credit or debit card, you'll also get a bonus gift to help keep you warm at the game. This exclusive, easy-to-carry, fleece stadium blanket featuring the Sports Illustrated logo. Free. Get the official NFL team highlight video of your favorite team on DVD or VHS. Woo! It's loaded with spectacular highlights you won't want to miss. From the Haymakers to the Playmakers. You'll see who'll do what to who in 2002.
Back on track, Daddy.
Call now and you'll also get another exclusive gift from Sports Illustrated. Your favorite NFL team's bobblehead doll with your team's logo, free. Pick a team, any team. The choice is yours.
Let's keep on doing it.
The ultimate NFL package for your favorite team is free when you order 55 issues of Sports Illustrated for only $1.59 an issue. Save more than 50% off the cover price. When you use your credit or debit card, you'll also get this free stadium blanket embroidered with the Sports Illustrated logo and a convenient carrying strap. Free. Get the best of NFL 2002 with 3 great gifts free from Sports Illustrated and nowhere else. Get into it.
Back here at round 19 of the NHRA Powerade Drag Racing Series, and the Sanyo Lightship is providing our aerial camera shots, reminding you that for total technology, people look up to Sanyo. Thanks, guys. Glad that you're here with us, as always. Now, let's remind you that we were originally supposed to come on the air at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, and then we got a bonus of 30 extra minutes. So just in case you didn't get the message and you missed our first half hour, let's recap what happened. Round 1 at Top Fuel. Doug Herbert left lane. Scott Wise in the right lane. Herbert runs a 4.72 at 3.06. This was never in doubt, and Doug moves on to second round competition. Then it was John Smith and Doug Coletta. Coletta coming off the big win last week, but could not duplicate it. And John Smith runs a 5.41 at 2.52 to advance. Then his wife, Rhonda Hartman Smith, would come up against Bruce Litton. Litton over in the right lane would become the first guy to win in that lane. 4.78, 3.06 to Rhonda's 4.81. Big matchup here with Tony Schumacher and Darrell Russell. Schumacher goes 4.65 at 3.17, and Russell runs a 4.79, and of course a big fireball, and the tire goes down on Tony's car right at the finish line.
Just lost the engine right before the lights. Went 318 miles an hour, so you know it happened right at the finish line.
Then that brought us to Andrew Cowan, #1 qualifier, and he had no problem putting away Paul Romine. 4.95, 2.73. Romine went up in smoke immediately off the line. Then it was Kenny Bernstein against Mitch King. Bernstein left lane, 4.66 at 3.15. King gave it a run at 4.87, but just not enough top end. Corey McClenathan up against Mike Smith. 4.71 for Corey Mack, 4.78 for Smith. Good drag race. Corey, side by side, takes the win light. And that brought us to Larry Dixon. He goes up against the Greek. Chris Karamazidis goes red. Dixon runs 4.62 at 3.17. That would be low for the first round for Don Prudhomme's team. So that gets us to second round action. As we take a look at the ladder, the arrow indicates that Herbert has the lane choice over Cowan, Schumacher over Corey Mack, then Bernstein over John Smith, and Larry Dixon over Bruce Litton. Now let's go to Phil.
You know, I'm thinking, Larry, your dad probably raced the Greek more than once in his career, but the important thing is that you were ready for him no matter what. A 4.62 low for the round.
Yeah, you know, Dick LaHaye and the Miller Lite team, you can't, no matter who you're racing, whether it's #1 in the points or number 100, you got to race everybody real hard, and that's what we did. We got lane choice next round, and one down, and we'll just keep on going.
take another look at Larry's run.
Watch Larry. Watch him bounce the front wheel up here as the clutch stages come in and starts pulling the motor. The torque of the engine drives that left front wheel up there. Car stays planted in the middle of the groove and makes a nice pass.
We've got to go to break, and when we come back, we'll zero in on that man right there, Johnny Gray, in our Powerade profile. Stay with us.
Sydney Bristow was the girl next door, and just what they needed.
All he told me was that I fit a profile.
They took her in, trained her, then dropped her in a world where she had no one to trust.
Daddy?
Not even her own father.
I thought you sold airplane parts.
Or mother.
Mom?
There's never been a better time.
There's been a hit put out on Sydney. I'm getting her out of there.
To leap into the adventure. Alias, the new season premieres Sunday, September 29th on ABC.
Things are changing on Route 30 in Maryville. Olson Cadillac is now Scapel Cadillac Hummer. And we're expanding to bring you the best selection, best prices, and best service on the full line of Cadillac and Hummer products. Visit Scapel Cadillac and Hummer today and see the all-new CTS, EXP truck, Escalade, Seville, DeVille, Eldorado, and Hummer. And a great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. Experience the Scapel difference. Scapel Cadillac Hummer, Route 30, Maryville.
Don't be overwhelmed by fall yard cleanup. Ryobi Mulchinator blower backs from Menards have 150 mile-an-hour blast to move leaves fast. Plus, they convert to a mulching vacuum. Electric is $59, gas-powered $99, or call up this 22-inch yard vac by MTD that also chips small branches, $379. This 5.5-horse chipper shredder handles up to 2-inch branches, $357. Clean up with savings from Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Now.
Monday night, don't forget to join Al Michaels and John Madden in Tampa Bay, along with some of the most exciting players in the NFL. It's the Rams Buccaneers. Monday Night Countdown, delivered by UPS, kicks it off at 7:30 on ESPN. And then 9 o'clock, Monday Night Football on ABC Sports. Recently, Johnny Gray announced that he will drive the blue car in 2003 for Checker Shucks Cragen and Del Worship Racing. In this week's Powerade Profile, Johnny talks about his racing career and how much longer he expects to race.
This is the way I relieve tension, is to come here and drive the car, So when Chuck and Dale asked me if I'd be interested in driving their car instead of running my own, it was an awesome opportunity for me because I wasn't going to be able to continue to run my own program and take care of the oil company. So basically, I come in Thursday afternoon, drive the car, I fly home Sunday night, I take care of business and come back in. I don't think it could get any better. I really don't care anything about driving a dragster. I had the alcohol dragster, and I got in a lot of trouble with it because I made the comment when I went to the alcohol funny cars, I'd rather be pulled around the pits in my funny car than drive the dragster, but that caused a little problem. But no, I love the fuel funny car. I think it's the ultimate race car. When you're running circle track and road racing and stuff, you can make mistakes and recover. I mean, obviously, if you make a big one and run into something, you can't, but you can make a lot of mistakes and take a lap or two and get it back. There's just something about drag racing when you got a little over 4 seconds to do everything perfect. If you make any kind of mistake at all, you're going home.
Yes, sir.
I'm 49. I'll be 50 years old in March. I've told my wife, we've been married 31 years, the 18th of this month, and I told her that all along that when I turned 50, I'd quit racing. I'm kind of waffling a little bit on that right now, but, in all honesty, when you turn 50, you may not be driving as well. Maybe you start having health problems. You don't take it as well. So, there's a possibility I'll be ready to quit, but I'm not going to say that out loud right now.
Well, we're not ready for him to quit either. He's one of the nice guys back in the pits. He's competed in a lot of divisions, as you can see. Finished 6th in top alcohol dragster points in '96. Won funny car in Division 5 and and Division 7. And, of course, was number 9 in his first Nitro funny car race back at Pomona in 2000. And 23 races, he's made 3 semifinals. And when we come back, it'll be first round action of funny car. And there is Johnny's car for this week. He's running the Haviland colors here at Memphis Motorsports Park.
Frequent persistent heartburn 2 or more days a week despite treatment and diet change may be acid reflux disease.
You never know when to expect it.
The burn can stop you in your tracks.
You worry about the risk of long-term problems.
I got help. Learn to handle the disease and the risks in ways that make sense for me.
Call this number now for information and a free kit from Prevacid, a handbook on managing acid reflux disease and its risks, a risk alert profiler, a guide to making the most of your next doctor visit, and a 7-day free trial certificate to use if your doctor decides Prevacid is right for you. Prevacid fights acid reflux disease 3 ways. It beats the burn, helps heal the damage, and best of all, staying on Prevacid if prescribed can stop the damage from coming back. Prevacid has a low occurrence of side effects, such as diarrhea, abdominal pain, and nausea. So if you want the power to manage the risks, heal the damage, and stay healed, call now for your free kit.
I know about bikes, titanium, magnesium. I know more than you want to know. But what I know about employee benefits wouldn't fill our coffee cup. That's okay, we're all fixed up with Guardian. Now, everybody who works here can do what I do. Think about bikes all day long and not have to worry about medical or dental or even retirement. This is a lot better than having to work for a living.
There's a place we all want to be. Go there with Guardian.
Just some of the excitement of NHRA Powerade Drag Racing. We're in round 19 of 23. Take a look at the funny car points. And after qualifying, Tony Pedregon has cut it down to 120. Gary Densham third. You see on down line, Del Worsham. Whit Bazemore is going to drop because he did not qualify for today's race. There's Gary Densham 1 year ago. Can you believe it? 30 years of struggle. And it came to this moment, both cars going up in smoke, but he beats the boss, John Force, to pick up his first ever Wally. And what a dramatic moment. And Gary Densham would like nothing better than to duplicate that feat once again. Take a look. Here is the ladder. The arrow indicates who has the lane choice. And on the right side, you'll see that John Force is going to match up against Cruz Pedregon here in round number 1. Del Worsham, boy, he looks real good in that last round of qualifying. More on that in a little bit. Let's get to this one. Bob Gilbertson, this team did very well back at Reading. Looked like they had turned things around.
Yeah, but the track conditions were a little bit more tricky here. They spun the tires in the first 2 sessions, but they came back in the last session, ran that 5:14. Sometimes that's all Paul Smith needs to get to figure this thing out.
So close at the line. Densham goes 498 at 298 to a 507 at 302 for Bob Gilbertson. And Densham continues his streak of being one of only 2 cars to get down the track every time so far in Top Fuel and Funny Car. Take a look at the incrementals, and you'll see who was leading at each stage of the track. So it was the reaction time, and at 60 foot, it was Gilbertson, and then Densham at half track and on to the finish. Dave Reed.
Well, continuing the work down in Tony Schumacher's U.S. Army crew. You can also see some Matco Tools guys over here. Those belong, of course, to Whit Bazemore, who did not qualify in Funny Car. And as you can see, the new block is about ready to come in. Surprised it's not in already, but not too surprised when you realize these guys did have a little extra plumbing to look at. They did burn up some 5/32 inch and 1/4 inch lines that supply the necessary air pressure for the clutch timers, as well as to the cannon that actually sits inside of the clutch pack. So the work very steady, very monotonous, but so far on pace to make that 75-minute turnaround.
Thanks, Dave. And of course, remember the 75-minute clock starts the minute the very last Top Fuel pair turns the corner at the far end. And so they had a little extra time, but it looks like they're going to be okay as long as they don't run into any unforeseen circumstances. Cruz Memphis Force had only one round one loss. Well, that happened against Cruz Pedregon at Columbus. This year, if Cruz wins, will give John his 6th first-round loss. That would be the most ever in a single season.
You know, and Cruz knows how to race John Force. This kind of reminds me of Indy, too, because remember, John was dead late against Cruz Pedregon in that semifinal matchup. He had a 490 rack time, his worst of the year. And we just saw Pop Gilbertson in front of him racing his teammate Gary Ditcham have a 4.0 light, which he did against John in the second round, which threw him off for the semifinals.
And at the far end, Bill is with Gary Ditcham.
I know you're going to want to walk back and watch this one, but that was a little close for comfort with you and Gilbertson.
I'll tell you, he nicked us last week already, and those guys are tough, and they're really coming into their prime right now. But, we got a good old hot rod here, and Jimmy Brock's pretty smart, and, with Auto Club and Ford and Capsule and all the boys behind us, all we can do is hope for repeat. I tell you, this play's been good to us, so maybe we can.
Maybe they can.
That run he referred to back at Reading, a 489 with a 2 to a 489 with a 6. That's how close that race really was. Mini staging duel. Now John goes in. Cruz had the reaction time, but not enough run at the far end. 492 at 302, and John Force is trailer Cruz Pedregon again.
Well, this is a great run by John Force, 492 in these conditions. Cruz, like you said, Marty, got the jump on him, but it looks like he got out of the groove a little bit and started spinning the tires just past that transition, which cost him the run. You see him here, car launched good, and right here it looks like it starts getting loose. That's when John Force basically drove away for the win.
Taking a look at John.
Yeah, John Force is stuck. Just like Kenny Burns, he made a little bit of a move to the wall, but then he kept it stuck, drove it down to the other end. Was good enough for the win. 492 at 302 miles per hour.
That's our matchup when we come back.
Someone asked me once if I had my shirt special made. I told them I got mine like everybody else at Tractor Supply. The Wrangler jeans, Carhartt coats and workwear, Walls coveralls, those for the whole family. There's just no place that fits my life better than Tractor Supply. It's even where I go to get socks.
Tractor Supply, for 1 acre or 1,000, will help you get the job done.
There are at least 100 things you'd rather do than deal with the stress of out an application and qualifying for a home. But if you want the benefit of financing, it seems you have no choice. I can't make it tonight. I want to get this loan application finished. At AmeriQuest Mortgage, we give you a choice and a much easier way to get a loan. You see, at AmeriQuest, you work with one local loan advisor, someone who takes the time to explain things and actually does the paperwork for you. Someone who treats you like more than a credit score. Someone like me. With 2 decades of experience and over 200 branches nationwide, AmeriQuest knows how to offer you the no-stress home loan. The time is right, so call AmeriQuest now at 1-800-297-8578 or go to urmore.com. That's 1-800-297-8578. Call AmeriQuest, the company that knows you are more.
Coming up on SportsCenter, Week 3 of the NFL. Battle of the unbeaten. Saints against the Monsters of Champagne. And will the Angels uncork champagne in the race for the playoffs? SportsCenter at 7 Eastern.
Next week, we're heading for the Windy City in the Sears Craftsman 75th Anniversary Nationals. And we have qualifying on noon Saturday. And again at 1:30 a.m. That's all on ESPN2. And then Sunday, we'll have NHRA today at 11 a.m. Eastern Time with final at 8 o'clock, all from Chicago. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Some of the crowd here at Memphis Motorsports Park. That was Lake Memphis Friday. You couldn't even see that logo. It was up to your waist in one. The track here, along with the safety safari crew, did an excellent job of getting this place race ready. In fact, we had one round of qualifying Friday night, and not a single person thought we were going to get a car down the track. Now it's time for Todd Payton and Tony Pedregon, and there's Payton in the Nitro Fish car, and there's Tony. He'll be over in the left lane.
last time you raced Cruiser at Indy, almost snookered you. 484 light for you, 492 win.
Coyle almost snookered me between Coyle and Ribs and Guido in the box. It's like it can't be changing that much out there on the racetrack, but hey, Castro pays us to win. Got one more Mustang coming. If Tony can pull this off, we'll be looking good here. That's all I can say. Thank you.
And as we go back to focus in on Tony, he and Peyton have met 2 times this year, both in first-round matchups. Tony won both of them at Houston and Brainerd, Dave Reed.
And remember, Marty, it was Todd Payton who thought he might have to park his car if he didn't get into that qualified field at Reading, and then went out and beat John Force in round 1. So another chance for him to make a little bit more of a claim this season, get a little bit more money to keep on going down the road.
Based on performance numbers this weekend, though, he's going to have Tony have a problem like John did last week at Reading.
Yeah, but that's a possibility. I mean, Tony got down the track 2 out of 3 runs, ran very good on those runs, but he did smoke the tire one. Now, John Medlin seems to have a very good handle on this race car. I don't see that. He's got the good. He's not going to do anything crazy. He's just going to try to get this thing down to the other end and get the win.
It's over. Tony streaks to a 493 at 294 miles an hour, so all 3 Mustangs have advanced through round number 1 here at Memphis Motorsports Park. Let's take another look. In on Tony.
Typical Tony Petron, good reaction time, 480 off the line, 800s from perfect. And then John Middleton, it was all him from there on. Kept her stuck in the groove, was able to utilize that horsepower. The clutch stages come in. 493 at 294. The mile an hour is a little bit off. As you see it starting to mix them up a little bit down the other end. That's normally because it's burning the cylinder heads a little bit when you see that orange flame change like that. Actually burning some aluminum in the combustion chamber, possibly the piston or the cylinder head. Slowed them down. I think Tony actually probably felt it. It looked like he before the finish line.
Take a look from the far end. Watch Peyton in the left lane. He starts mixing them up a little bit. Then the tires smoke, and it's all over. So let's go to Dave Reese. He's back in Tony Schumacher's pit, and the work continues, Dave.
Still no indication as to what caused that gigantic fireball out the backside of the U.S. Army dragster, but to be on the safe side, certainly they're exchanging blocks in this car like we mentioned and have seen already. The big concern over here. It is not going to cost him lane choice, so this team did breathe a very huge sigh of relief when they heard that news.
And that would be huge because so far, as you pointed out, Mike, right lane, there seems to be a definite challenge in negotiating down that right side.
Yeah, it seems like there's 2 things. We saw the cars want to move towards the wall when they launched, and then we heard Wayne Dupuis talk about there's a bump at the 400-foot mark, and we've seen both Cruz and Peyton get to that point, spin the tires, and have to shut off. So there's definitely an advantage to having the left lane today.
And as we look down from high above, our overhead pictures brought to us courtesy of Sanyo and the Sanyo Lightship. Sanyo set to compete, and at the controls today, no, it's not Parker Johnstone, it's Alan Judd and cameraman Nick McLaughlin. And guys, great to have you with us again. And if you weren't with us yesterday, the reason we keep teasing Parker about flying the airship is that he was up there yesterday, giving us a guided tour of how the whole operation works. I thought the steering mechanism was the most interesting part, how he has to really be well ahead of it because it takes so much time for it to react. You're looking at Del Worsham in the left lane.
Nice one.
Yeah, this drag racing is unpredictable stuff. We got on the starting line, plugged the motor in, and Nitrofit waiting for us to start up, and the car just would not fire. And I was ready to kickstart this thing, and I think our batteries must have been a little bit low, but made a good recovery, made a hard move to the right, and I was staring at them cones for a second. I hated the left because, well, today is Sunday, and we do want to win pretty bad. But nice job, Ford, Castrol, Mustang, Automobile Club of Southern California, and just trying to keep pace with John, and they're all going to be tough ones today.
3 Mustangs, 3 490 cars so far.
Yeah, very well bunched. A 492 for John, a 493 for Tony, and a 498 for Densham. But this guy yesterday in the final round of qualifying in the heat, Del Worsham was low for the day out of both sessions with a 490.
That was just a great pass, you know, because he struggled a little bit qualifying. I mean, Friday night, he actually had to backpedal the race car, still ran a 4.98, which would have been the show, but then they came back, got it all together in that last session yesterday, and ran a 4.90, which was a great pass in the heat of the day.
And, of course, with Whit Bazemore out, that man right there, Scotty Cannon, has to carry the colors and funny car for Don Schumacher's race team. For the fourth straight race, Scotty Cannon is out of here in round number 1. And Cannon had a good light. He's been worried about his reaction times. He cut a 487 light to Worsham's 554, but Dell runs a 490 at 309. That is low for the session, so that Checker Shucks Cragen car is running well. Stay with us.
Hi, Billy Mays here with another unique product from the Invention Channel. It's called the Rotomatic. It's the portable powerhouse that fits in the palm of your hand. It has the power to drill, the strength to grind, and the versatility to buff and polish. The Rotomatic even has the precision to etch and engrave with pinpoint accuracy. The secret's the 10,000 RPM motor that allows you to cut, sand, and drill all in one simple step. The easy change chuck gives you the versatility to polish a silver antique or grind down a rusty nail. The Rotomatic is strong enough to remove rust, yet accurate enough to sharpen the dullest blade. It takes the guesswork out of craft work and makes any weekend project a little bit easier. Sanding a rough edge down to a smooth finish is now a breeze. Or switch out and put the lustrous shine back in your metals. Personalize your most prized possessions in one easy step. Before you replace or retowel, use the router. It makes old grout look like new. The Rotomatic makes a great gift and is perfect if you have a car, truck, boat, or RV. Why spend a fortune on tools that you'll only use once? The Rotomatic gives you all the power you need in the palm of your hand. Similar products sell for as much as $80. Call now and you'll get the Rotomatic complete with this 10-piece set for only $19.99. But as part of this special offer, we'll upgrade you to the rechargeable unit and give you the power pack at no extra charge. But call right now and we'll include the 50-piece accessory kit absolutely free. That means you get all this, a whopping $100 value, all for just $19.99. But you gotta call now. Here's how to order.
Call 1-800-518-2636 to order your Rotomatic for just $19.99 plus shipping. Call 1-800-518-2636 or send a check or money order to the address listed.
Reminder tonight on ESPN, Sunday Night Football, Bengals against the Falcons. NFL Primetime presented by Miller Lite at 7:30 Eastern Time. 8:30's game time. For more, log on to ESPN.com. And there's an interested observer, Kenny Bernstein, watching round 1 action in Money Car. The advantage of having Tim Richards and the crew back in the pits. He doesn't worry about that at all. He can just try and relax, focus on the next round. That is Bruce Sarver and Tim Wilkerson. More on them in a moment, but Corey Mack's got some action going on in his pits. Parker?
Yes, he does. We saw Dave Chronicle the thrash over at Tony Schumacher's. They're going up against Corey Mack in this next round. Team owner David Baca, you've got your own thrash happening. What happened on that last run?
Well, you saw a hole go out there about 700-800 feet, and it started detonating, and it looks like we had a rod go away. But we'll be ready for next round. It's a pretty pivotal round for us. We want to get back in the chase for number 3, and as you can see, these new blocks are keeping us from getting an oil stroke, so we want to save those 10 points.
They broke a rod with the new forged block. They were able to save it. Otherwise, it would have been very, very ugly, Bill.
Well, Del Worsham, to spare you the embarrassment on national television, I won't tell you what your reaction time was, but your 490 made up for it.
Nah, I tell you what, that's good. Can't always be great, you know. Going out there, you know, he played little games with her, did a good job. I saw his top light go out, and all of a sudden lights were falling. You know, I caught myself looking over there, and it's a mistake, you know. And either way, though, my dad and the entire team gave me a great car today. Checker Shucks Cragen. My wife, my kids are all at home, coming out to Chicago, and miss everybody.
Thanks, Bill. Tim Wilkerson's got a full ride next year with Levi Ray and Shoop. They're stepping up. White cap Toyota, Bruce Sarver in the right lane. Sarver with a little smoke right at the top end, but he runs a 496 at 300 miles an hour. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but that is really the first Top Fuel or funny car to really get down that right lane in a respectable time.
Well, that was a very good run. I mean, they only qualified with a 507, and then to come up, Alan Johnson put the perfect tune-up. The car was very aggressive early, had good low numbers, 231 to 330, but then he basically took some timing or took some power and clutch out of it because he only went 243 miles an hour in the 8th, and most of the funny cars that have been winning on the left-hand side have been running about 250 miles an hour. Alan Johnson did a very good job at reading this racetrack to get that car down the track and make that kind of run in that lane in these kind of conditions.
Well, I'll tell you, take one more look at it, and everybody will be trying to figure out what Alan Johnson did right in that right lane because you've seen so many other cars stumble and fail. And it was never in doubt. Look at Alan's reaction on this when he goes, you know what? I think I got this one right. Back at the starting line now. We get ready for Ron Capps and Dale Creasy. And you can tell that's Dale because Dale Sr.'s always got that cigar hanging out of his mouth. I'm surprised Craftsman doesn't ask him to have a wrench hanging out of his mouth.
Well, I think
good advertising.
That thing's big enough. I think he should have signage, Craftsman signage on the side of it.
Don't give him any ideas. They'll come up with something. Ron Capps. Capps got a little score to settle with that man right there. Dale Creasy, in their only matchup in 2002 was back in Seattle, and Dale won that one.
And Capps may have a rough time because, Dale Creasy got down the track on both runs yesterday in the heat of the day. Didn't run the big numbers, but he still got down the racetrack. So that's what Ron Capps is going to have to do.
Well, even in their career matchups, they're 3-3. So, I mean, Dale Creasy has not been an easy win for Ron Capps in his career.
And that man right there, Andy Ace McCullough, backing him up. He knows how critical this is on this tricky racetrack, and it's just, this is where the crew chiefs earn the big money that they make because it's, it's nervous time, and I wouldn't want to be a crew chief at trying to run in these kind of conditions.
Let's go to Bill.
Hey, you going to be around for a while today?
I sure hope so. This White Cap and Echo Tools, boy, that was a nice, smooth run. We got to finally tune it up a little bit, and I know there's a lot more in it. I'm excited, man. We're going to have some fun today.
Dale Sr. back at the starting line, takes one check last time into the cockpit, and we're about ready to go here. First round action at Memphis Motorsports Park. Creasy was right there, and Creasy does it. 493, 304. Look at McCullough. He is stunned. A 496 at 278. Ron Capps, they had a good tune-up. Dale Creasy just had a little bit better.
This is a huge upset. I mean, I thought Capps had it. I mean, they were side by side at the 8th mile. It looked like Ron Capps put some cylinders out, and that allowed Dale Creasy Jr. to go by. He went 304 miles an hour, and Capps was slowing at 278 miles per hour, and that's what cost Ron Capps the race.
Take a look at super slow-mo.
Yeah, we're going to be able to see it here. I mean, Ron Capps did a good job. Had a slight advantage off of the starting line. He was actually a little bit quicker to the 8th mile. They both ran the same exact speed to the 8th mile, so they were very close. But there, he went over towards the wall a little bit. That might have caused a little bit of tire spin, put them cylinders out, only went 278 miles an hour. Maybe even lost the belt just before the finish. And right there, you saw Dale Creasy go by for the win. Great race.
Take a look at the aircraft. The arrow indicates leading. Reaction time, 60 track, all in Ron Capps' favor. But where it counts, Dale Creasy at the stripe in a 493. Coming up next, well, it's going to be Johnny Gray, and he'll be going up against Tommy Johnson Jr. here at the O'Reilly Mid-South Nationals. Stay with us. We'll watch Dale Creasy's team celebrate as we go to break.
On an all-new Beg, Borrow, and Deal, while Team Kobe is playing catch with an NFL quarterback.
It's this far? This is impossible.
Team Contact is just playing catch-up.
I can't do anything from upstate New York. I feel so helpless.
Both teams have hit the road, but who exactly is driving the bus?
Tempers start to flare. I don't like politics.
10 passes, 2 teams, 4,000 miles.
There ain't no stopping us now. We're going to get there.
Beg, Borrow, and Deal, the new reality game show from ESPN, Tuesday at 8.
Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Just the thing you need in the morning. Buy a large or extra large coffee and play Sip, Scratch, and Score. It's just the thing for a little fun, and every correct answer is a winner.
Your Pontiac dealer has 0% APR financing for 60 months on every new 2002 Pontiac Grand Prix. That's 5 years of interest-free financing on any new 2002 Grand Prix. Residency restrictions apply, or get $3,000 cash back.
So don't miss your opportunity to own a 2002 Pontiac Grand Prix with 5 years interest-free financing. See your Chicagoland Pontiac dealer today.
Back here at the O'Reilly Mid-South Nationals with Mike Dunn, Bill Stevens, Dave Reed, Parker Johnstone, and our entire ESPN crew. I'm Marty Reed, and there's some of our fans. And let's go back to this last run. You were talking about during the break. Ace did everything he wanted to do. He just got outrun at the stripe by David Creasy, a 493. Bill?
He can't beat you. Yeah, I don't know. Alan told me this morning that I had a pretty good streak going against Ron Cass, but this Sears Crest and Pontiac, we're just learning the thing, and it's getting better and better and better. And they're a great race team. I'm just happy to beat anybody.
Ron Capps, the streak continues, but you've been on the short end of it.
Yeah, it was trucking out there. It was running good, and it blew up big time. The tranny came over and hit my ankle pretty hard, and when it was shutting down, it was banging things around. So whatever it was big. But Dale, I mean, 93, those guys, I hate to say they deserve it, but God dang it, not against us. Skol, guys, we'll be back.
Gracious in defeat.
And as Johnny Gray does his burnout, it is Tommy Johnson Jr. who he'll be racing against. There's Tommy over in the right-hand lane. He's just seen Ron Capps go down to defeat. Up to him to carry the funny car colors today for Don the Snake Prudhomme. TJ is 1-0 against Johnny here in 2002. That was a second round back at Indy.
TJ and Rob Flynn got to be feeling good about what they've just seen. You know, we were talking about the right lane having been a definite disadvantage, but then you watched Bruce Sarver go out there run 496, Dale Creasy Jr. run 493, so they got to be feeling very good. And Rob Flynn's had a very good combination of running this car in the heat of the day. It's been a consistent low to mid 490 race car. They haven't been able to do it here. They're kind of stuck in the 5.0s, but don't count them out.
And talking about Johnny Gray's team, of course, if you were with us yesterday or have checked NHRA.com, changes there. The team will move its base from Auburn, Indiana, out to Anaheim with the red team. Johnny, of course, is staying as the driver, but Dave Fletcher will not be back as crew chief on that race car. In smoke, and a 497 for Tommy Johnson Jr. at 303 miles an hour, and all of a sudden the right lane has come to life. We've had 3 straight winners out of the right lane. Dave Reed?
Well, Martin, let me ask you a question. Is this Indianapolis?
Well,
it's not Indianapolis.
No, but I know where you're headed.
But Tony Schumacher and I were talking while all this work goes on. It's starting to look a lot like the U.S. Nationals, though, isn't it?
Let's just hope it ends like the U.S. Nationals. It's real easy to look at all the numbers and a lot of similarities to the people we would end up running. And, you know, we looked at that first thing this morning and made comments on it. But it's hard enough to beat those guys at the U.S. Nationals one time. We have to do it again. Man, it's going to take everything we got.
You don't like to look too far ahead, but he raced Russell in round 1, Corey Mack in round 2, could race Cowan, burnt Tina Dixon around the opposite side of the ladder. Wow, unbelievable stuff. Bill?
Well, Dave, there's an engine change going on over at John Force's. A little unusual. They said the engine was almost at the end of its service life, but they're afraid it may have banged the crank on that last run, so they're not going to take any changes. Now, we know on the fuel cars, every part has a limited service life. It's usually very short. Well, this engine just coming out a few rounds early.
All right, thanks, Parker. Last pair of floppers here in round number 1. There is Dean Scusa. And as he does his burnout, if you weren't with us yesterday, we had a frightening moment at the far end. Bill is getting ready to interview Whit Bazemore. Just listen, you're going to hear an explosion.
Wouldn't it work?
Whoa. What happened was the fuel cell actually exploded. Wes Parker, a crew member, was stunned by the explosion, but thank goodness, not seriously injured. Now, Dean is back, trying to get focused on this round against Bob Bodie. Let's go to Bill.
Tommy Johnson Jr. couldn't find the 4s in qualifying, but you did just then, 497.
Great stuff, customer. You know, the whole Worsham team over stuff. And Skull team, Ron going out early there, it was a surprise. But we stuck to our game plan, went up there and just went down the racetrack. The Skull Blue team's been coming around. We've been doing pretty good lately. So
both lanes seem to be equalizing, too, now.
I didn't care for our lane choice. I rolled her in a little deeper there. Mike Dunn can tell you all about that. I wanted to win. Who cares about lane choice? Worsham's flying, so I didn't think I could get it.
Back to you, Mike.
Yeah, that lane choice by rolling her deep, if he took away a little bit on the lap time, but he wanted that reaction time, like he said, he wanted to get that win, and that was, I think that was a good strategy against Johnny Gregg.
You saw the fuel cell, the new and improved version, the way they're supposed to look on the body of Dean Scusa. Here we go. Oh, Bodie goes deep. Not going to matter. Scusa runs another 496, 300 miles an hour. So everybody in the 4s here in Funny Car, after 3 rounds of qualifying, most of these guys were struggling just to get down the racetrack. So the performance turnaround here on race day has been nothing short of phenomenal. Lane choice goes to Tony Pedregon and Bruce Sarver, and also to Del Worsham and John Force. We've got to take commercial break. And that's Corey McClenathan's pit, still working on getting his top fueler ready. And John Force has still got a motor change going on. Stay with us.
IBM ThinkPad. Real people, not actors. Have you seen the new IBM ThinkPad? This is nice. This is light.
It's a lot lighter. Slick, it's manageable, it's easy to carry.
Do you travel for your work?
I'm on a plane about every week.
They got a little light there for your keyboard.
No way.
Well, I'm loving this little red button here in the center.
That's the mouse.
Oh, that's the mouse?
I want something that's not only efficient but reliable.
All of these computers can use rapid restore. That lets you go back to the last time the computer saved.
So it's almost like backing up the computer every day.
They have a thing called the Ultra Bay Plus. You can put a CD-ROM. You can put a DVD.
I love this thing. I think I felt like the IBM was more...
But which one's right for you? Now, the nation's leading medical group in the treatment of hair loss is offering a free video that helps you decide. Call Medical Hair Restoration. Advances in hair transplantation can regrow your hair. But which one's right for you? Now, the nation's leading medical group in the treatment of hair loss is offering a free video that helps you decide. Call Medical Hair Restoration toll-free now for your free video. Isn't it time you did something about your hair loss? Take the first step. Call them toll-free now.
Trust me, you will love the new American Sportsman. Our premiere episode, Greg Kinnear goes to Africa and he shoots a rhino with a dart.
A dart? Oh, that's delicious. Why don't you use a water pistol? A dart? Where'd you shoot this rhino? In an English pub? What, you run out of spitballs?
No, this is how we...
Why don't you read it a bedtime story so it falls asleep naturally?
On the old show, they wrestle rhinos between takes.
It's back. The new American Sportsman, hosted by Rick Schroeder, presented by Dodge. Mondays at 8 on ESPN2.
Back here at the 15th running of the O'Reilly Mid-South Nationals, and our friends in the Sanyo Lightship are flying overhead with the Eye in the Sky camera, bringing us our beautiful shots. Sanyo, known for innovations. Thank you, guys. We're always glad to have you with us. Bill has caught up with Dean Scusa.
I couldn't help but notice when you made the turn that everybody sort of backed away from the car when the body came up, but that situation from yesterday is under control. And a 496, you got any more of those left in the deck?
That's what we're going to try to do. Yeah, I did notice that. Everyone, you know, people down here are crazy, but they're not stupid. I for one, am standing away, too. No, that was a freak thing. We took a line off, and return line to the tank, had a little header fire, and, you know, it's just going to change some rules around here. No one's going to be allowed to touch this thing until they get back to their own pit. But 96, if we can run that all day, it may just be good enough.
You may be right. Now, when we talk about pro stock, we talk about reaction time, and it's important because a lot of races are won on the hole shots. Jake Coughlin has a unique way of practicing his reaction time while at his Columbus, Ohio home.
This pro stock simulator here that we've devised up in our shop is a pretty close replica to our 2002 Chevy Cavalier. We've got a processor here that measures reaction time and then your individual reaction to shift points of which you preset. The simulator has a clutch pedal, which activates the Christmas tree, a shift light that tells me when to shift, and I use a shifter all ergonomically positioned, as you would imagine, in our Cavalier. The Christmas tree simulation is randomized so that your focus, you can't get into repetition. Same with the shift light. We like to make it hard on ourselves, and we even go one step further to make it even harder. Man, thanks, fellas.
Jake, you need a new band there, buddy. Take a look at his reaction times at Indy when he won the Nationals. Every single round, he was first off the line. And of course, won on hole shots in the semifinals and the final. Tell me it doesn't pay off. It certainly does. Activity going on back in the pits. Let's zero in on the wheelie bars. That's the subject of today's Suzuki Track Fact. Track Fact is brought to you by Suzuki Motorcycles.
When you compare a street car with a pro stock car, there are many obvious visual differences. Prominent at the back of the car are the wheelie bars. And Mike, obviously these keep the car from doing a wheel stand, but they're much more than that. They're an important part of the tuning process, aren't they?
Well, that's right, Parker. They're very important. The wheelie bar is here to do two things. Help control the weight transfer to get the wheel speed at the right position. The other thing is to get the car used as a directional. With the torque of the engine, tends to want to drive the car to the left, and it'll actually stagger it to get the car to go straight when it launches and the wheels are up in the air.
Well, at the start line, I always see the crews measuring the height of these wheels off the ground, as well as coating the wheels with either shoe polish or with chalk. What are they looking for?
Well, in a high situation, you're always trying to get the right height to get what we talk about as wheel speed. You want the wheels to turn at a certain rate. If you lower the wheelie bars when the track is very sticky, it helps get that tire spinning a little bit easier. Obviously, if the track's greasy, it'll automatically get a little bit more tire speed. You can raise a wheelie bar. You don't have to have it as high. As far as the chalk, they put that on there so they can use that as visual information to see how long it was on the wheelie bar on that particular run.
Now, on this set of wheelie bars, I noticed that there's a load sensor at this top right-hand bar. What are they measuring with that sensor?
Well, that's another information gathering device. I mean, they're looking to see how much load is on the wheelie bars and try to get that balance. Obviously, if it goes up on the wheelie bars too hard and they see that they got way too much tire speed and they lose a lot of time, they know that they can raise a wheelie bar up as one of the adjustments that they can make to help control that tire spin a little bit better.
And when you've got 1,300 horsepower, trust me, wheelie bars, it's an important piece of equipment to have.
Well, the winningest driver in pro stock history, Warren Johnson, didn't win 6 championships just by following everybody else. He's got his own way of doing things. For instance, the simple process of scrubbing in a new set of slicks. This is home video taken by Warren's wife, Arlene, behind the Duluth, Georgia shop. Now, it's a rainy day. Warren had a special $4,000 concrete launch pad installed behind the shop, and this is how they break in the tires. Behind the car, 2 crew members, Reiner Amron and Derek Nykaza, and they hold on to the back of WJ's car as the tires get broken in right there in the rain. Now, those of you in the greater Atlanta area, if you ever see a yellow Grand Am with a lot of decals going down the
to help control that tire spin a little bit better.
And when you've got 1,300 horsepower, trust me, wheelie bars, it's an important piece of equipment to have.
Well, the winningest driver in pro stock history, Warren Johnson, didn't win 6 championships just by following everybody else. He's got his own way of doing things. For instance, the simple process of scrubbing in a new set of slicks. This is home video taken by Warren's wife, Arlene, behind the Duluth, Georgia shop. Now, it's a rainy day. Warren had a special $4,000 concrete launch pad installed behind the shop, and this is how they break in the tires. Behind the car, 2 crew members, Reiner Amron and Derek Nykaza, and they hold on to the back of WJ's car as the tires get broken in right there in the rain. Now, those of you in the greater Atlanta area, if you ever see a yellow Grand Am with a lot of decals going down the street with 2 guys hanging off the back, now you know why. Marty?
Thanks, Bill. Arlene's pretty good camera operator. Do you know anybody else, Mike, who's ever done this?
You know, when I was a kid, I always wanted to do that with my dad's running car when he wasn't around, but I was always afraid I'd get my butt whooped.
I know a lot of kids that do it with the street car, but we won't go there. Pro Stock coming up next when we come back to Memphis.
As your power steering pump ages, seal leaks may occur, causing the power steering system to lose fluid. Your power steering system may also develop an annoying squeal, and the steering may become more difficult to handle. By using Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak, you will stop the seal leaks, reduce slack in rack and pinion, eliminate the squeals and hard spots in your power steering system. It is guaranteed to stop seal leaks or your money back. Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak. It works.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the Virgin Islands. From the Redwood Forest to the blue-green waters. This land was made for you and me.
Discover the endless possibilities of St. Croix, St. John, and St. Thomas. After all, this land was made for you and me.
For you and me.
Mayfair strange in the morning light. Mayfair strange in a summer night. Mayfair strangest in the afternoon. Starry heights.
Yesterday, one of our advisors showed this woman how even if her brother outlives her, she can always be there for him.
Coming up on SportsCenter, Week 3 of the NFL. Battle of the unbeaten Saints against the Monsters of Champagne. And will the Angels uncork champagne in the race for the playoffs? SportsCenter at 7 Eastern.
Next week, we head for Chicago in the Sears Craftsman 75th Anniversary Nationals. We have 2 shows of qualifying for you early at noon Eastern on ESPN2 and final qualifying at 1:30 a.m. And then on Sunday, we'll kick it off with NHRA Today with Bill Stevens at 11 a.m. And final eliminations at 8 Eastern. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Time now for the Factory Hot Rods. Take a look at the matchups here in round number 1, and the arrow indicates who has lane choice. First one we're going to see is that Tom Hammonds Mike Edwards duel. The last one we're going to see is over on the other side. Jake Coughlin, Greg Anderson, numbers 3 and 2 in the points, respectively. Take a look at the point standings as we get ready for this first run, and you can see 63 separating Yates from Greg Anderson, 72 back to Jake Coughlin, and our number 1 qualifier, Warren Johnson, 210 back. These 2 guys, well, they've only met one other time, and that was back in 2001. Dandy race. Mike Edwards won it, a 695 to a 697.
You know, Marty's probably a good bet that this can be decided on reaction time, which we see a lot in pro stock. But Mike Edwards, he red light in the final last week in Reading, probably playing a little bit on his mind, but I think he's going to be on his game. Tom Hammond's going to give him a good race. This should be a good matchup.
Hammond's had lane choice, chose the left lane. 3 100s for Edwards, race over. 686 at 200 miles an hour. Remember, Mike was one of 3 to bump into the field yesterday in that final round. In fact, he had the best run of the day, and he just laid down a pretty nice run there.
And that's right. He had the best run in the heat of the day in that last session, like you said, Marty. And it looked like he just picked up right where he left off. That was a good run. Didn't have lane choice, but you know, sometimes you know, lane choice doesn't matter different conditions in the right-hand lane for Pro Stock may be different than for the fuel cars.
Next up, it's going to be Kurt Johnson with Mark Wisnett. And KJ, well, in search of victory. His last win was the first race at Pomona last year. That's 42 races. And you can see the arrow indicates when he finished second in the points championship. And he has always won at least one race in that stretch. Dave Reef?
Now, Marty, they found a little bit of additional concern down here in the Tony Schumacher pit where they actually had to replace a wing strut on the left side. They figured something came out of that engine when it exploded and did put a little bit of a bow inside of that. And as you recall, wing was the problem here with Tony Schumacher a few years ago, so some very nervous folks down here as well. Yeah, that would get everybody's attention in that camp after what happened back in 2000. Next up, it is Kurt Johnson and Mark Wisdom. While they complete the burnout process, Bill's at the far end.
Well, he won 4 out of the last 5 rounds. Things are looking pretty good.
Yeah, we're on a roll, looks like, Bill. Hopefully we can keep it up the rest of the day. First pair out, you never know what the track's going to have for you, so we made a pretty good lap. So one down and ready to go.
You remember what happened here in 1999, by any chance?
Boy, it seems like it's just yesterday.
He won this race, became the first Pro Stock driver ever to win a national event. Bump.
Out of the number 16 spot. Hard task. Mark Wisnett right now. These guys have met 2 times this year. KJ has won them both. They were first-round matchups at Atlanta and at Denver. So one near sea level, the other a mile high. So KJ's got the gamut.
Mark Wisnett's been making good horsepower, but his driving's been off a little bit lately. We've seen him pretty late on the lights, not quite as consistent as he was when he first came out in Gainesville and went to the final round. And a lot of that has to do with, when you're first coming out, you got nothing to lose. Nobody's expecting you to do well, but now he's been running so well, the pressure's on him to do a little bit better. So hopefully he's going to need to cut a good light to if he wants to get around Kurt Johnson.
Some of the guys are nicknaming their engines. Here we go with a staging duel. KJ calls his the Alligator. Advantage Johnson. And the Alligator just took a bite out of Mark Wisnett. 685, 200 miles an hour. Mark slow to a 702 at 193. Good run for Kurt Johnson, looking for that first victory of 2002.
Very good run, Marty. 200 off the starting line. He did what he needed to do. Got a great react time, 4:33. That's a good light, and then got her down the track. Let's watch and see. That car doesn't. We saw some of the fuel cars move over towards the wall, but look at KJ. I mean, he is stuck right down the middle of that racetrack. That car hardly moved at all. That was a good run.
Well, you're right. He does not move out of that groove. Take a look from the Sanyo light chip.
Just stuck right down the middle. That car, about the straight run that you're going to make.
Wow. Gotta be pleased with that one. Back at the starting line, it's Kenny Koretsky and Troy Coughlin, but first, let's go to Bill.
You had a very good car in Maple Grove a week ago and came up empty, and it looks like you got the same car again this week, 685.
85s, actually. We came out here yesterday morning, put the AC Delco Chevrolet in the number 7 hole, and you got to drive good. The car's got to run good on Sunday, and it's just a matter of getting off the starting line first.
That run looked like a laser beam right down the groove.
Yeah, it was straight. Short shifted second just a little bit. I need to wind it up just a little more going into second. There's probably 5,000s out there, but that's a lot in this game.
Thanks, guys. Kenny Koretsky over in the left lane. His only round win this year, well, that was back at Indianapolis against Warren Johnson in a hole shot. Troy. Thanks, guys. Kenny Koretsky over in the left lane. His only round win this year, well, that was back at Indianapolis against Warren Johnson in a hole shot. Troy Coughlin and Kenny have never met before today. Advantage Koretsky. And he's pulling away. Kenny Koretsky, 685, 200. Troy runs a 692 at 196, so he fell off in the horsepower department. Remember, Troy was one of the 3 cars that was able to bump in that last session yesterday. So So Koretsky moves on. He'll face the winner of Greg Stanfield and Bruce Allen. But next up, it'll be Gene Wilson and Robert Patrick. Again, here's another pair that have never met in competition. And indication of just how good Pro Stock is. I mean, look how many former winners from this year were sent home through qualifying, including Larry Morgan. And as those guys back up, let's check in with Dave.
Well, down in the losing crew of Doug Coletta, Connie Coletta, but we talked a little bit yesterday about the possibilities and the rumor mill running wild about this team possibly getting a second dragster to come out. Well, I was going to try to get a chance to talk with Connie a little bit so he can expand upon that, but indeed these guys would like to expand their program to include a second dragster, and some of the names we mentioned yesterday that are on the hit list, obviously Scott, Corey McClenathan, so look for this team possibly to expand next year. One thing we do know for sure, they bought Don the Snake Perdome's hospitality bus, the Miller Lite bus, to be repainted and be over here for their Mac distributors, and so looking to grow the program.
Thanks for the update, Dave. Good race here at the stripe. Gene Wilson, 682. He goes low and 200 miles an hour. I mean, that's quicker than everybody ran in qualifying. So Patrick runs a 687, is in the box and heading home. Wait a minute, that's a little bit smaller version than Kenny Bernstein's top hero. Stay with us.
Welcome to the annual ESPN the Magazine Sports Mascot Picnic. Every year, pro and college mascots come from all over to talk about how much they love ESPN the Magazine and show off their free fleece pullovers. You know, more mascots subscribe to ESPN the Magazine than any other sports magazine in the world? Hey, here's the college guys. Fellas, who's your ESPN the Magazine favorite? They're so into Dick Vitale. And every new subscriber gets this ESPN the Magazine fleece pullover absolutely free. These high-quality fleece pullovers are extra large and roomy. Fits all shapes and sizes, from devils to penguins.
Subscribe now. Get 26 issues, 1 year for just $1 an issue. That's 71% off the newsstand price.
Hey, if you're a sports mascot or simply a regular human who loves sports, pick up the phone and call for ESPN the Magazine and your free fleece pullover.
1-888-ESPN-MAG.
This is the sound. These are the results. This is the sound of the PowerFlex by Gold's Gym, the authority since 1965. Gold's Gym gives you one powerful machine with 65 club-quality exercises. The secret to the PowerFlex begins with the swivel flex pulleys that provide you with free range of motion. Next, Power Stroke Resistance simulates the natural movement of your muscles and allows you to move from 10 to 410 pounds of resistance with one simple stroke. Call now for free information about how you can get the Gold's Gym PowerFlex in your home for as little as $49 a month. With the Gold's Gym PowerFlex, you get the lat tower, the multi-position bench, hip strap, rowing seat, ankle strap, handles, and space saver design. Be one of the first callers, and you'll get the Gold's Gym PowerFlex leg developer for stronger legs and shapelier hips and thighs. A $200 value, absolutely free. Call the number on your screen now.
Back here at Memphis Motorsports Park, you're looking down from the Sanyo light ship. We're in first round action of Pro Stock, and it's Jim Yates and Ron Krischer. A big round here as Yates, the points leader, trying to make sure that he picks up ground. Remember, still to come, number 2 and number 3 in the points go head-to-head. Greg Anderson and Jake Coughlin. Boy, can you believe that run by Wilson before the break? That was pretty astounding. The air has definitely gotten better than yesterday. Now the question is, who else is going to put in some big numbers? Ron Krischer, a big round here as Yates, the points leader, trying to make sure that he picks up ground. Remember, still to come, number 2 and number 3 in the points go head-to-head. Greg Anderson and Jake Coughlin. Boy, can you believe that run by Wilson before the break? That was pretty astounding. The air has definitely gotten better than yesterday. Now the question is, who else is going to put in some big numbers? Yates, 3 100ths off the line. And that is 5 rounds in a row where Jim Yates has cut a very good light. So he wins with a 683 at 200 miles an hour to a 687 at 201 for Ron Krischer.
You know, Jim Yates has been in the zone right now. I mean, both cars staged about the same time, got a quick light. Usually he'll tend to throw a driver off, but not Jim Yates. He still hit a 440 light, which is a good reaction time. At 300s off the starting line, ran quicker, got to the end by over a car length.
Let's go to Bill.
A couple of dark horses here. Kenny Koretsky, 685 to take care of Troy Coughlin. Last few races, you've had a car to race.
This is really getting exciting, Bill, and we're having a lot of fun out here, and the guys are doing a great job. Eddie Granacci, Tom Pearson, Joe Cunningham, and our new sponsor, Mace Security International, doing a great job.
Another great job. You were low until about a moment ago, Gene Wilson, with a 682.
Oh, man, that is an awesome run for the Mopar Parts Hemi Neon today. You know, track's going to be real good, and we don't have a lot of heat on the track right now, so I think we can expect some ET is going to be dipping down there, you know, pretty good, and I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad to be by first round. Usually that's the hardest round for me, so look to go some more.
Especially when his teammate Darrell Alderman failed to qualify.
For the third race in a row. It's been a tough time for Darrell. Now it's Greg Stanfield and Bruce Allen. These two have never met in competition. Stanfield, his best qualifying effort since moving over to Pro Stock, number 3. 2/100th advantage to Bruce Allen. And at the stripe, the win light to Bruce Allen. 684 and a hole shot. The quicker but losing 683 for Greg Stanfield, and all won at the line, but the difference at the stripes, as you can see, 12/100th of a second.
Great side-by-side race. You know, Bruce Allen definitely needed that reaction time advantage. 430 light. It was a good win for him. Real close at the other end.
Let's go to the far end, Bill.
Man, you're on it. 681. Yikes. 683, I think. No, well, that's what I have. 683. All right, I'm going to have to tell you the truth. It's 683.
Okay, 683. Well, the bad news is we lost lane choice to Gene Wilson for the next round, but the good news is we won a round. You know, we're marching forward. The guys that got that split power Grand Am running pretty darn good today, and the air's picked up a little bit. That's why we're a lot faster than we were yesterday, but we got to step it up for the next round if we want to win here.
Lanes make a difference?
Absolutely. I think it's a big difference, maybe at least 100th or 2, so it's going to be exciting as we get on further down the lane today.
Okay, keep watching.
You saw the damage on Warren Johnson's car, the left front and right rear. It came free in the transporter and was banging around. There's the repair work that they had to do there.
Yeah, and I want to go back to something Jim Yates said. I think lane choice does make a difference. Up to this point, every car that has won in the left lane has ran about 160 miles an hour at the 8th mile. Nobody in the right lane has been able to do that yet, so it does seem like it might be worth a couple hundred.
Advantage. Alan Johnson, 3/100. But at the stripe, Warren Johnson goes low. 681, 201.73. That is a new track speed record, breaking a mark set by Scott Jeffreyon back in 2000. AJ goes 685, and he's actually quicker, faster, 201.76, and he loses.
Wow, what a great race. You know, Warren Johnson, I thought he was toast when he left the starting line because he did.
685, and he's actually quicker, faster, 201.76, and he loses.
Wow, what a great race. You know, Warren Johnson, I thought he was toast when he left the starting line because he did get left on pretty good by Alan Johnson. Alan Johnson's been making good horsepower all year, but didn't have quite enough for WJ on this run.
The incrementals show who was leading at each stage of the race. Let's go to Bill.
On a hole shot. You took out one of the all-time great sportsman racers, Greg Stanfield, but you're not a bad lever either, Mr. Allen.
You got to have a good car, too, and we've had a good car this weekend, but it's always nice to win no matter how you do it, and it's been a while, so we'll take it.
The epitome of an up-and-down season.
Ain't that the truth?
Great going forward. That was a good move.
You're listening to Jake Coughlin Sr. direct his son, Jake Jr.
Got about 4 feet and you're on.
And this is the matchup. We don't have to say much more than it's number 2 and number 3 in the points. And neither can afford to really lose because Yates has already won. Get the clock ready. I think this could take a little while. Oh, all of a sudden, Greg goes in. Here we go. Red light, right lane, Greg Anderson. 682 for Jag. 685
with a 0-201-46.
And that sounds great. I know, felt a little bit aggressive down low. I hit the 2-3 just a shade high again, but obviously that 82 is going to send a message. Excellent work, guys. Shoots work great, too.
Now, he was talking about hitting the 2-3 a little high.
Well, he's talking about his shift points there, letting the RPM go up a little bit too far past the shift point before he got into gear. They'll lose a little bit of time when they do that. Jed Coughlin had a great light, a 422 light. Greg Anderson missed a perfect light by only 2,000 of a second, but it wouldn't have made any difference. Even if he hit a 400 with Jeggy hitting that 422, he still would have beat Greg Anderson. So, you know, you hate the red light, but at least you know you weren't going to win anyway.
Let's go to Bill.
I accused Jim Yates of having a 681, but it's because my Hungarian gypsy grandmother is psychic, and I was tapping into it. You had the 681.
I knew you had a lot of problems in your background. 81, that's, we're happy with that. We've been making some progress on it. Not that the work is done. We're just got to the tip of the iceberg. We just have to keep moving forward now, and I think this performance parts Pontiac is going to get a little more dangerous as we progress.
A lot to be said for good body work. Jed Coughlin just out of his car. Man, that was dramatic, Jeggy. He fouls out. You go 422 and go 682.
Well, it's pretty cutthroat out here right now, and you know, Greg and his gang's been doing an excellent job all year. What can I say about this gang behind me, man? Team Jeg's just phenomenal. Sending a message there with that 82 zeros. Pretty stout. So we're excited to turn the wick up on this thing today and see if we can't make it interesting.
These points could be all scrambled by the end of the day. Parker?
Well, you can see the disappointment on Greg Anderson's face. Greg, 2,000ths from perfect, 398 light. The race was over.
What do you got to do? You got to go up there, you know, guns blazing. You got to do the best you can. The lane didn't look as quick as the other one. There's no excuse. You can't red light, and that's the bottom line, and I did. He whooped me.
Thinking about the championship as you pulled up to the line?
No, not really. You just, you know, in order to win the race, you got to get by first round. It doesn't really matter who's over in the other lane. They're all so fast out here. My God, I mean, who could you pick that you'd want to race? You'd rather have fate in your own hands, you know, as far as the points championship goes, and it was. And I came out on a losing end.
Still 11 points back behind Jeggy in third in the championship.
Yeah, but more importantly, there's still, you know, 3 more rounds out there. WJ has the lane choice. Gene Wilson over Jim Yates. That could be huge. Jag over KJ. And Bruce Allen over Kenny Koretsky. We've got to take commercial break. Stay with us. That's Andrew Cowan's New York Yankees pitch as they're getting ready. And there's Tony Schumacher's camp, and they're all back together getting ready for warm-up.
ABC Wednesday, TV's Funniest Family is off to Hawaii, where Junior learns about the birds and the bees. A lesson that won't come easy. So Dad delivers some sage advice.
Remember, this girl has feelings, and there's no protection to put on the heart.
But when the island breezes blow temptation Damon's way, and Mom's way,
Jay?
What?
Jay?
This vacation turns into an adventure
event. Final eliminations of the 19th round of the NHRA Powerade Drag Racing Series, brought to you by Lucas Oil Products, a world leader in heavy-duty and high-performance lubricants. The United States Virgin Islands. For information, call your travel agent or 1-800-372-USBI. And DirecTV. Movies, music, and exclusive sports from the leader in digital satellite entertainment. Don't forget, later tonight, we're going to have Cincinnati Bengals and Atlanta Falcons playing football on Sunday Night Football on ESPN. NFL Primetime presented by Miller Lite kicks it off at 7:30 Eastern, and the game's at 8:30. All tonight on ESPN. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Bill, I think you're with Tony Pedregon, aren't you?
Tony Pedregon had little trouble getting past Todd Payton in round 1, Dean Scusa in round 2, but there is no doubt about it. You've got the most consistent car in the class over the last few races.
Well, it sure has been, without a doubt, and the tough part for us is going to be to try to maintain that. And of course, anytime you set low ET and you come off of a win, you show up at the race with the big bullseye target on you. So we know that Scusa's looking at that. He's going to be looking to get an edge on the starting line. I'll try to do my part, and we need to keep the car consistent. And ran 93, and there's a little bit more in it because it dropped a cylinder, and maybe our routine got sped up a little bit by the car not starting in the first round. So we're looking to run maybe in the high 80s or real low 90s, and that's probably what it'll take to get Scusa out of our hair.
Well, Bill, if there was an award for crew chief of the race, the leader in the clubhouse so far would have to be this man, Alan Johnson, who engineered Bruce Sarver to a 493 out of that very tricky right lane. A lot of crew chiefs want to know how the heck you did that.
Well, you know, the lane isn't all bad. There are portions of it that are pretty good. So we have to take advantage of the good parts and hope we slow it down enough on the bad parts and, you know, try and get it to the finish line without smoking the tires too bad.
And ultimately, you got your goal, too. You wanted to obviously get the win, but more importantly, get lane choice. I doubt you're going back there.
Well, no, you know, we certainly aren't going to try it again. We did a good job on it first round, but we're going to go back to the left lane, and hopefully we can stay there for the rest of the day.
Last-minute welding job underneath the white cap Toyota. They'll be ready to go for their matchup with Gary Densham. Parker Johnson.
The turnaround thrash continues in the pits of Dale Creasy Jr., but you get the feeling that the tone of this turnaround thrash is different than the other competitors. Why? Well, this will be only the third time this year they've gone to the second round. They don't have gleaming sub-assemblies ready to go. They don't have a lot of crew members and extra parts. Instead, part of the crew is borrowing things from other teams while they're literally building parts and pieces as they go. Will they make the turnaround? I'm not quite sure, but they are determined. And Dale Creasy Jr. told me, look, we don't have $1 million worth of parts in the trailer, but when we get up to that starting line against John Force, all that matters is that we get to the finish line first and go to our first semis of the year.
Let's go back to Reading while we've got a few moments here. Remember the burn-down situation between Doug Herbert and Clay Millican? It went on for over a minute. And then it was Rick Stewart who jumped in, shut them both off, and the reason was safety, because of the fuel being up front. Now, Parker and Mike did a little experiment this week as they show us exactly what they were talking about.
Last weekend at Reading, Pennsylvania, we saw one of the longest staging battles in Top Fuel history between Doug Herbert and Clay Millican. But, Mike, the NHRA shut them down because of some safety concerns.
Well, that's right, Parker. And the big concern was the amount of fuel that was being burned as both drivers sat there trying to stage. You got to remember, these cars burn about 3 to 4 gallons a minute, and both cars sat there for well over a minute before they went into stage. The problem is there would not have been enough fuel in the fuel tank for this car to get all the way down to the finish line, and consequently the engine probably would have exploded.
Well, and the other problem is one of weight and balance. With a 300-inch wheelbase in a Top Fuel car, and most of the weight concentrated at the back between the engine and the driver, the pivot point, or where it balances, is right near the back of the car. Well, last night we had a little free time on our hands, so we constructed what can best be described as a makeshift playground teeter-totter with the balance point right at the back. Now, Mike will be our driver and our engine. Mike, if you wouldn't mind. We've got some nitromethane, and remember when they come to the start, they've got almost a tank full after the burnout. Nitromethane weighs about 10 pounds per gallon, so nearly 150 pounds. Mike, go ahead and load it up here. And as we do that, the car comes to the line balanced. Well, the problem, especially with a car like Doug Herbert's that doesn't have a wheelie bar on the back, without fuel in the tank, at the hit of the throttle, both of these drivers would have done this. Well, we know Doug and Clay are okay. Mike, are you all right?
I'm okay. Don't worry, Mom.
Where was your safety helmet there?
Well, I needed one. Whenever Parker built something, I should know better than not to have my helmet.
Well, let's talk about these situations. I mean, a lot of the guys were saying they were worried about the engines exploding and pieces going in the air, but we've seen some wicked wheel stands. There's some examples right there.
Well, you know, one of the things we talked about, I mean, if that front end gets up too high, there's a point where the air actually takes over. You set the weight on the front end for statically to get the car to launch and carry the front end to a certain height. After it gets up to speed, which is about 150 miles per hour, then the air will either take and push the wing down, or if you got too high, the air will take and push the wing up, causing a blowover, which is something you don't want to have happen.
No, and neither does Dick LaHaye in Top Fuel. He's with Bill right now.
Larry Dixon, as crew chief Dick LaHaye and the Miller Lite team, won that all-important first round. Of course, this late in the season in a points race, they're all important. Are the conditions very tricky today? A little sun, a little clouds. Now it's going to be a little warmer for the second round. Is this the tune-up call for the next round going to be a little trickier than the first one?
Well, today's the best air quality we've had. The barometer's the highest, the humidity's the lowest, the water grain's the lowest. It's easier to make more power. But the sun's coming out now, so the track's going to give, it's not going to lend very well to traction. So we're going to have to be very cautious out there. And we was first round and put up a pretty good number, and we're going to try to do it again.
You won't need a 450 to win today, will you?
I wouldn't think so, no. If we get some cloud cover, there's a possibility, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Let's go to Dave.
The first trip down Kenny Bernstein Boulevard, very successful. Kind of thought we'd be looking at Doug Coletta in a rematch from last week, but no, it's John Smith.
Yeah, that's pretty outstanding for John. I mean, he's had a rough time in those tire smokers. He finally won one, and we beat him every time we've raced him. That bothers me a lot. Law of averages can catch up to you, so I hope we have some success, and I love the Boulevard. That's just very nice of Memphis. Wonderful.
So needless to say, there's some butterflies creeping back in here for round 2 now. This thing's getting nip and tuck.
They go away after that first round a little bit, but we're just we're being very serious on things as always, because today's a big day, and you know, if everything goes right, the cars are going to meet in the 3rd round, and if we have some luck and they have some luck, and or we both could get knocked out, you never know. But right now, the John Smith's our duty, and that's it.
Well, and that's what's coming up next when we come back to Memphis Motorsports Park. Top Fuel, 2nd round, here at the O'Reilly Mid-South National.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Anniversary Nationals. 2 broadcasts on Saturday on ESPN2 at noon Eastern and 1:30 a.m. for qualifying. Then Sunday it'll be Bill Stevens leading the NHRA Today crew at 11 a.m. and final eliminations at 8 Eastern, all from Chicago. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Take a look at the ladder in round 2. Doug Herbert, our first pair with Andrew Cowan. He's got the lane choice over Andrew. Tony Schumacher over Corey Mack. And then it's Kenny Bernstein over John Smith. Larry Dixon over Bruce Litton. So far this year, these guys have met twice before. Herbert has beaten Cowan both of those opportunities, and the last time was back at Denver in a round 1 matchup.
Well, and Herbert has lane choice, even though Andrew Cowan's our #1 qualifier with that great 459 on Friday night. They seem to have come up with some kind of a problem on the last qualifying run in the 1st round. They put cylinders out before half-track. I almost have to think that's some kind of mechanical gremlin they have there, because Mike Green has had a very good handle on that, too, if there's something going wrong. Hopefully they found that problem. If they have, we've seen some cars run very well in that right-hand lane. Seems to be a little bit of a disadvantage over there, but we know, and we saw with Bruce Arbordale, Greasy Jr., you can't win from that lane.
Track temperature reported at 106. That's up from 1st round. At the stripe, Doug Herbert gets the win light. 465, 316 to a 470 at 303, and it's the first time that Doug Herbert is going to the semis since Sonoma, when he went on to win that race.
Doug Herbert's best pass of the weekend, and he needed it. I mean, both cars, identical reaction times, basically 5.0 reaction time. At half-track, they ran identically lap time. The difference was Doug Herbert was running 262 miles per hour to Andrew Cowan's 256. That made the difference. That allowed him to pull away and get the win.
Let's go back 1 week ago. John Smith, Kenny Bernstein. And Kenny Bernstein dodges the bullet, loosens the blower belt, still on the throttle, hoping to coax the car down. Here comes John Smith, who had hazed the tires, but it was Kenny Bernstein that got the win. There goes the blower belt, and we show you that for one specific reason. Because here we are less than a week later, and Kenny Bernstein is up against John Smith again, and he talked about the law of averages. He's never lost to John Smith, but sooner or later, all streaks come to an end. He doesn't want it to happen now.
You know, Kenny Bernstein definitely needs this win, but he's going to just go up there and do the same job he's always done, just like he did race. He's going to go up there and try to leave on time, get a decent light, and if the car goes to the other end, you know, hopefully he'll get the win. He can't worry about what happened last week, and he won't.
John said that was your best run of the weekend. You know what? That was one of your best runs of the year. Your 465 beat his 470.
Wow, that's good. I'll tell you what, this time of day and this conditions, you know, Daryl and Jerry and those guys are, you know, hate to get mushy out the last week, but they are good guys, and they're my buddies. But you know what? When you pull up there to the starting line, there's nobody your buddies. I know that for sure. Snap-on Tools and Herbert Performance Parts, and we're just happy. Going to the semis, that's awesome. Woo!
It was pretty awesome. Right now, Kenny Bernstein looking to run his string over John Smith to 10-0. And John, of course, would like nothing better than to get several cases of free Miller Lite, courtesy of Larry Dixon, if he takes the red car out. That was Rhonda Hartman-Smith, John's wife.
And you know, Marty, John Smith's got to be thinking about the two he's giving away. I mean, they smoked the tires, couldn't get by him in Maple Grove, but remember in Brainerd, he red-lighted, gave away a 483 after Kenny Bernstein had smoked the tires. So that's probably playing on his mind a little bit. So hopefully he can focus, get that good light, and hopefully he can get the win ahead of KB.
Neither car has pre-stage. They are taking, shall we say, their grand old time. Here we go, finally. No contest. 465 and 313. Rhonda's disappointed because John went up in smoke almost at the hit of the throttle. So it is 10 up and 0 down for Kenny Bernstein over John in that Prestone top fueler. And we've got to go to break.
All right, well, guys, stick around and don't go away because we'll be right back. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, wait a minute. That's my line. I'm the one that's supposed to say that. Well, thanks, guys. You made my life easy. Friday night, one session of qualifying that we got in after 7 inches of rain. That's right. The track was literally awash. As we go back trackside, Tony Schumacher and Corey McClenathan, and that was not a real good burnout for Tony.
Yeah, that's unusual. I mean, maybe a short burnout. Got to kind of wonder if there's some sort of a problem or what happened, but that was definitely not the usual burnout for Tony Schumacher.
Let's go to Bill.
You watch Doug Herbert go 65. Kenny, you go 65 in the same lane. Now you know what happens for the next round. And lane choice, so important. You want to see how Larry or Litton do in their race.
You certainly do. You hope you have lane choice because the left lane is certainly better than the right lane by all means. There's a pretty good bump in the right lane that upsets these cars a little bit. But you just never know. They run a little quicker than we have in those conditions. So hopefully we'll hang on and get it. Let's go to Dave.
Follow up on why Tony Schumacher did such a short burnout. I can see Dan Olson telling him that as he was rolling him through the water box. I can tell you, though, that Tony Schumacher's car was not fired as quickly as Corey Mack's was. Corey Mack did his burnout, had gotten all the way down the racetrack and stopped before the Army dragster ever even got started. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays into this run.
Well, the same thing happened to Tony Pedregon last round. He went on to win the race. Can it happen again? In the right-hand lane, Corey Mack goes through the lights. Tony runs a 464, but right now, holy smokes, what a huge explosion.
Well, that was huge. We haven't seen many of those since the 90% rule became implemented, but man, look at the injector off the top there just hanging off the side. I mean, it burned the one parachute all the way off. Huge explosion.
Let's go back, take another look. 318 miles an hour was what Tony ran through the lights.
At 464, great pass for Tony Schumacher, but just look at Corey McClenathan. That's a huge explosion. Now watch all the parts start coming off the car there. You're going to see, gets down towards the other end, puts the cylinder out right there, and then boom, huge explosion. The supercharger's basically gone, and the injector just flopping in the air. The only thing holding on is the fuel line overhead. Let's see if we can tell what happens. There it is on fire. Parts and pieces flying. Chute burn off. Look at that thing. I've done 1 or 2 of those in my time.
Yeah, and luckily none of the debris got up into the wing and blew that off, because that's when it really gets ugly, Bill.
Well, the picture says it all. As you can see, everything on the top of that motor has been turned into trail mix. You can see the rotors inside the supercharger, the injector hat askew off the top. Corey Mack just now getting out of his helmet. A couple of years ago, Corey, I remember one in Gainesville that you had, and when it was over, you had the crankshaft in your lap, and that one looked a lot like it.
Yeah, it was a big one there. We're trying to run the car hard. That Army car is running really good, you know, and we just didn't have what it took today. I feel bad for the sponsors, Mack Tools, you know, Don C. Chevrolet, Centennial Batteries, all the good people, Pure Power, but, you know, this points race isn't done yet.
Up until the boomer, anything that you could perceive that would have let you know that you had some problems?
Not at all. That's one thing we're fighting here. We got a good combination here as far as tune-up wise, but it's this little stuff that gets us. Something went wrong. I'm sure it wasn't the tune-up.
And it was big.
Back at the starting line, that's Larry Dixon. He has already seen Kenny Bernstein advance. And that is Bruce Slitton. Now, let's go back one more time. You think you spotted something?
Well, here's a possible scenario. I saw a flame come out of the back of Corey McClenathan's engine just before the big explosion. What happens there is it actually burns the head gaskets that seal the cylinder head to the engine block. If that flame crossfires over into the other cylinder with the intake valve open, then it will fire all the fuel in the manifold and the supercharger and then launch that supercharger right off in a huge explosion. That's a possible scenario of what could have happened there with Corey.
Bill?
Long before Corey Mack had his problem, you had your own little situation, Tony.
Yeah, first round was brutal for us. You know, we did a lot of damage, but fortunately for us and for all of Schumacher Racing, we have a three-car team, and all the Matco guys came over. The local distributor brought us some tools we needed. Between all those guys, I mean, we got it done. And for the Army team, that was low ET so far. We have one more period to go, but what a great run. We're going to another semifinals, and hats off. Dan Olson's doing a great job. This new car is a great, mean race car.
They don't know why it had a problem starting, but they think it's fine.
It was fine on the run, that's for sure. Larry Dixon right now trying to move on to his 14th semifinal of the year.
Big dilemma for Larry Dixon. He's got to win the race, but he also wants to get lane choice. Got to be careful here.
Race over. And he crossed the stripe at 4:64. 3:13. Dixon has lane choice. Bernstein ran a 4:65, and that means on Kenny Bernstein Boulevard, he's not going to be in the preferred lane. Take a look at the matchups as we look at the semifinals in Top Fuel. It'll be Tony Schumacher with the choice by 1/100th over Doug Herbert, and Larry Dixon by the same margin over Kenny Bernstein. 20 cars coming up next. We've got to take commercial break here at round 19 of the NHRA Powerade Drag Racing Series.
Hi, Billy Mays here.
Aerial pictures from the Sanyo lightship. Sanyo leading the way, and way up in the sky there is Alan Judd, our pilot. Nick McLaughlin, the cameraman. Thanks, guys. Well, time now for Dean Scusa and Tony Pedregon. As we take a look at the ladder, it will be Tony with the lane choice over Scusa, Bruce Sarver over Gary Densham, and then it's Del Worsham with the choice over Tommy Johnson, and John Force over Dale Creasy. Let's put a period on Top Fuel. Larry Dixon's with Bill.
Round win, lane choice over Kenny Bernstein, huge.
Yeah, you know, sitting in the car for a long time while they were cleaning up that oil down, you get a lot of time to think, and fortunately we got the car down the track. The thing nosed over on the other end. It put some holes out, at least one, maybe two holes out, and it just nosed over. I'm going, oh, there goes lane choice, but just enough to get it done. I want to say hi to my wife, Allie, and my son, Donovan. They're at home. My wife's a week and a half away from giving birth to number 2, and, you know, hi, I love you. We're going to try and win this one for you.
Wouldn't that be a great weekend?
Well, I think Allie would like that present, and that oil down for Corey Mack, he's over the limit. That's going to cost him $1,000 and also 10 points. Now let's turn our attention to this matchup. Tony in 2002, these guys have met 4 times. Tony Pedregon has won 3 of them.
Dean Scusa's got that new car. They struggled early in qualifying, but they seem to have a little bit better handle on it the last 2 runs.
Tony Pedregon, 492 at 313. Scusa gave it a great ride at 496 in that tricky right lane. But Tony is going to his 9th semifinal of the season, and right now that is one bad hot rod that you're looking at.
What a great side-by-side race.
Let's go back, take another look. Keep your eye on Tony.
Well, Tony Pedregon with slight advantage off the starting line. By the 8th mile, they ran exactly identical elapsed times to the 8th mile. But once again, what we're seeing is that 8th mile speed in the left-hand lane. Tony was running 251 miles an hour to Dean Scusa's 246. That seems to be the difference between the 2 lanes and why everybody that has lane choice seems to be taking that left lane. But give Dean Scusa credit. That was a great pass for that right-hand lane. 496 is nothing to be ashamed about. I
On Corey Mack's last run, not only did he shred the parachute, they shredded the team's checkbook. Have a look at the destructive force of nitromethane. Besides blowing the blower into smithereens, it pushed the head gaskets right out of the side of the hedge, blew the top of the valve covers off, spark plugs completely destroyed. It literally was a 6,000 horsepower bomb. And for Corey Mack, he's still having problems hearing, because not only was it a big explosion, it was a loud explosion.
Mike, what's it sound like when those things go off right behind you?
Well, I mean, it's a huge explosion. I mean, it'll definitely, have your ears ringing. And the big thing is it'll usually, before the Hans device, I mean, when the concussion from the explosion, usually you're looking at the belly pan at the bottom of the car. It just moves you that much.
Dell Worsham, Tommy Johnson Jr. Before we talk more on that one, quickly to Bill.
You are crushing them. I got John Medlin and Dickie Venables, and of course Casper Syntec, and I'll pull bumper to bumper auto value behind me all the time. And another win for Mustang. Scusa's tough, good people over there, and this car's just steady. It's doing the right thing every time, and can't complain about that.
Dell Worsham, 4 up and none down against TJ this year. They get 5-0. Dell runs 493 at 305. You saw Tommy go up in smoke, so Dell continues his mastery over the Blue Skull car of Don Perdone's team. Hasn't lost to it this year, and now is 7-2 in their career. We've got to take commercial break. When we come back, it'll be John Force against Dale Greasy.
On an all-new bacon.
Oh, we've got 6,000 horsepower. I wonder if we could ever get the equivalent on a football field. I don't know, but we can watch all the action tonight on Sunday Night Football. Cincinnati at Atlanta. NFL Primetime presented by Miller Lite kicks things off at 7:30. Game time, 8:30 Eastern. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Thanks for the banner, guys. Energy, speed, power, and nitro. And coming to the line is that man right there, the 11-time champion, John Force. He's won at least one event in final 5 races in 6 championship seasons. Now, notice 92. That's the year Cruz Pedregon won, and Cruzer's the only guy who's won 3 of the final 5 races during the Force era, 92 and 94. And look how many times he's won 3 of those events. Good gracious. Dale Creasy's never beaten John in 8 prior attempts. They met once earlier this year. That was round 1 back at Houston. Creasy gave him a good run. 5:01. John ran a 4:94. John Steve. Creasy's up in smoke. And John's 9-0. 485. That is law of eliminations. 315 miles an hour. And that's not going to be good news for Dell Worsham, Bill, because he no longer has lane choice.
No, he's CPR right now. I mean, he just sucked the air out of the building. A 485, Dell.
No, he did. I'll tell you what, it's out there. You know, I was in a little deep last round and ran that 490, which I figured would have been 87, 88. I'll tell you what, we lost lane choice. We'll see a little bit, just basically just go out and see what the right lane can do. You know, we ran a little scared there. We backed it down a little bit, just making sure we got the round win. My dad's done a great job. Hey, next round's next round. We'll see what he has.
Earlier in the year, the Henkelman and Bacher Racing Top Fuel team announced that they could find the sponsorship. They would run 2 cars. And, David, you've got an announcement for us.
Well, yes, a little late than never, but we're going to run the last 2 events of the year. If we're fortunate enough to run Dallas, that we'll know tomorrow. But, yes, we're going to run Las Vegas and the World Finals with 2 cars. Hopefully it'll turn into something, and we'll grow it into, hopefully, a major deal for next year.
And for the first-time fans who may not know, who will be driving that other car?
Well, that'll be me. I hope that my Top Fuel debut will be a good success. And with Wes here for a couple more races, hopefully we can have just as much of the success we've had with Car 1 with Car 2.
And will we see 2 cars for the 2003 season? And what's Corey Mack's future?
Well, I can't speak for that at the moment. I know there'll be 1. I will be in the seat. And if Bundy comes along, we'd love to have Corey here.
Well, at least there'll be 2 cars in the fray from this team, and at least 2 more races this year.
Thank you, folks.
Was he rooting for me?
Well, I know that Dell Worsham wasn't. You just absolutely flattened him with that 85 for lane choice, John.
We needed lane choice, and we even talked, Bernie, I don't want to give it away and be put over in that lane. Not that that lane ain't good, but you just want that option. And, you know, you got the MAC guys, all pro bumper-to-bumper auto value. They want you to win. And it's like, man, if I shallow stayed this so heap, and then this kid was a whole shot on me, man, some days just ain't good. But this old car had some horsepower. She rattled just a little bit. Was Tony rooting for me?
Yes, he was.
Okay, because you asked me if I was, why in the hell wouldn't I root for Tony?
Tony Schumacher was thrilled.
Oh. Hey, one of us got to win this old thing.
Let's go back to the starting line. Sarver and Gary Densham. These guys have met 3 times so far this year, and Gary's won 2 of them. Last matchup was round 2 at Seattle when Bruce won.
You know, Bruce Sarver won out of the right lane in the first round, ran a 496, which was very good, but Alan Johnson knows the left lane is a little bit better down track. He can get a little bit more aggressive and hopefully run a little bit better number and get the win over Gary Densham.
Sarver goes up in smoke in the left lane, and Densham runs a 509, so go figure. They were successful running the right lane. They get lane choice moved to the left side, and Alan Johnson goes up in smoke. So Gary Densham has moved on. He'll face his teammate Tony Pedregon in the semifinal, and it'll be John Force and Del Worsham. As far as the lane choice, Tony has it over Gary by a pretty good margin, and of course it's John with low ET of eliminations, 485. Let's take up one more look at that last run.
Well, Bruce Sarver smoked the tires before he ever got to the good part of the lane, so I don't really think there's a whole lot of difference between the lanes at that point. We're going to see it early, almost immediately. You see the burst panel go out. He tried to pedal it. The thing backfired and sent the burst panel off. Watch right here. You're going to see it. It's going to smoke the tires, get out of the throttle, and it's going to backfire the supercharger when he gets back on it, and then it should launch the burst panel right there.
And Gary Densham going to his 8th semifinal and still on track to defend his first ever national event win here at Memphis. When we come back, Pro Stock.
It's time to rock and roll. What it's all about. NFL 2002 is here, and this year Sports Illustrated and NFL Films want to knock you out with the ultimate NFL package. A great free gift set you can't get anywhere else. Get in the game with the official NFL Films highlight video of your favorite team, available on DVD or VHS, plus an NFL team bobblehead doll, both free with your paid subscription.
Yeah, baby!
When you use your credit or debit card, you'll also get this free stadium blanket. Free. With your official NFL team highlight video, you'll see who'll do what to who in 2002. Call now, and you'll also get another exclusive gift from Sports Illustrated. Your favorite NFL team's bobblehead doll with your team's logo, free. Pick a team, any team. The choice is yours.
Let's keep on doing it.
The ultimate NFL package for your favorite team is free when you order 55 issues of Sports Illustrated for only $1.59 an issue. Save more than 50% off the cover price. When you use your credit or debit card, you'll also get this free stadium blanket, embroidered with the Sports Illustrated logo, and a convenient carrying strap. Free. Get the best of NFL 2002 with 3 great gifts free from Sports Illustrated and nowhere else. Get into it.
We're going to have lots of big stars on the New American Sportsman, like Jane Seymour from Dr. Quinn.
A woman? In the old days, we had Hall of Famers, actors, dirty, sweaty men in pup tents. It was magical television. You could smell the moose musk. Oh, sure, this lady doctor, whatever her name, she could be valuable in case somebody got gored by an elk.
You don't have any idea who she is, do you? You can't keep that.
It's back. The New American Sportsman, hosted by Rick Schroeder, presented by Dodge. Mondays at 8 on ESPN2.
Sears Craftsman 75th Anniversary Nationals is next week in Chicago, and we've got 2 broadcasts for you on Saturday at noon for qualifying early and 1:30 a.m. for a late session. Sunday, it'll be NHRA Today at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and the final eliminations at 8 Eastern, all on ESPN2. For more, log on to ESPN.com. All right, let's check the ladder now in Pro Stock Round 2. Warren Johnson has the lane choice, and so does Gene Wilson. Jake Coughlin over Kurt Johnson, Bruce Allen over Ken Koretsky. Let's put a period on Funny Car Bills with Gary Densham.
Kerry Densham, there are not many times when a 509 is going to beat that red and white Toyota, but you did it.
No, we got a bit lucky on that, obviously. The car was running pretty good, and I put some holes out, started spinning the tires, drove over by the guardrail, and I had to lift or ram it. Make another final.
If he does, he'll have to get past his teammate.
That's the only car that's running the 5s all day to advance. That gives you an idea just how good the funny car racing has been. Everybody's been running in the 4s. Talk about some great racing. The factory hot rods are at it. Bruce Allen, Kenny Koretsky, they've not met here in 2002, but the one time they have met earlier, Koretsky won that race. Back in 2000, round 1 at St. Louis. Advantage for Koretsky. At the stripe, he needed it. A whole shot. 687 to the quicker, but losing 686. So Koretsky in the non-favored lane. And you see the difference on the reaction time.
Well, Kenny Koretsky needed it. As you said, he ran slower and won the race. Also only went 199 miles per hour. And Bruce Allen was closing fast at over 200 miles per hour.
So as we get ready for our next pair and Kenny rolls out, at that part of the track at the top end yesterday, we had an explosion. Now I want you to go back, if you haven't been with us, just listen to Bill's interview. Is just starting to talk to Whit Bazemore.
Right away. One will work. Whoa.
And Marty, nitromethane is a curious fuel. It has a much higher flash point than normal gasoline, which means you can put a match to a pool of it and it won't ignite. But under intense pressure or under intense heat, not only will it ignite under the right conditions, it can explode. We saw that earlier with Corey Mack's motor. That was his bomb. The bomb of choice for Dean Scusi yesterday, well, it was the fuel tank. The danger, the vapors. A funny car body lays over the top of the car, collecting that vapor. When the car sat at the far end for a long time, it took 2 events. First of all, crewman Wesley Parker came in, disconnected a line, which added more vapor to the situation, and they had a fire underneath the engine. When the fire marshal came in, blew that fire out, the flames went from the back of the car towards the front. That is all that was needed to ignite that vapor. The fuel tank, it exploded. Fortunately, crewman Wesley Parker is okay today, and there was no collateral damage from any shrapnel from that aluminum fuel tank.
Thanks, Parker. While you were on that report, Gene Wilson just took down the points leader. Jim Yates cut a 429 light, but Wilson outran him, 687 to a 689.
And I think that had to do with lane choice. I mean, Jim Yates did his job, like you said, Marty, 429 light. Got the jump off the starting line, just ran a little bit slower, mainly through the middle of the course. He was too slower to the 8th mile, and about a mile an hour slower at that point, which allowed Gene Wilson in that Mopar to get the win.
So the points leader is out of here. Number 2 in the points is out. And here are the incrementals. And you can see Jim Yates all the way to half track was the leader, but at the stripe. And boy, that is 6 good lights by Jim Yates in a row. And remember, that's what was really hurting him in the first half of the season. Wow, that was close at the stripe. So close. Kurt Johnson, Jeg Coughlin Jr. Jeg now has the opportunity. He's number 3 in the points, and he actually now number 2. He's moved ahead of Greg Anderson with his first round victory over Greg. And he can move even closer to points leader Jim Yates. Kurt Johnson still looking for win number 1 in 2002. Dead even. At the stripe, the win light. Jeg goes 685.
85-7. We have lane choice going in the next round.
And you know how quickly they mentioned that.
Yeah, guys, keep this baby going now. Split fire team's out of here. Let's see if we can make up some ground and just have some fun today. With you.
Let's go to Bill.
Yeah, the same pair of guys we talked to after the first round. Once again, Kenny Koretsky in a hole shot. You beat one of the all-time great drivers out there, Bruce Allen.
Well, this is starting to be a lot of fun out here. I like to meet Gene here on the next round. That means we're in the finals.
You scoundrel, you just took out the points leader. He had a 429 light. You outran him anyway.
Oh, man, I tell you, that is awesome. I tell you, my guys, David Nickens and Tommy Yutt, John, everybody's doing such an awesome job on this race car, man. And I tell you, it feels so good to come out here and do some rounds. And thanks to all the guys at Mopar Performance Parts. This is awesome.
just remember, guys, we've had 11 Pro Stock winners this year. The record is 15. If we have a different winner over the last 5 races of the year, we'll break that record.
And I would not put it past us to have that happen. Warren Johnson coming to the line against Mike Edwards here. And these guys have met twice so far in 2002. Mike fouled out against WJ at round 1 back at Columbus, and then he beat WJ on a hole shot at Denver in the semifinals, running a 7:31 to a 7:28 up in the altitude. Run better than a 6.873 to get lane choice. 3 100s in the bank for Edwards. And the win in another hole shot. Mike Edwards, 687 to the quicker, but losing 685, and you might as well put a period on Warren Johnson's title hopes. He could not afford for this to happen in second round.
You know, Warren didn't have a bad light. 450 is not too bad, but 420, Mike Edwards was on his game after red lighting last week in the final and then being a little bit late in the first round. He rose to the occasion against Warren, and he saw the difference in the win line at the finish line right there.
Bill?
You've been telling us all year. It's crazy out there.
Well, I tell you, it's tough. You know, the Dodge has been running pretty good. We lost lane choice going in the second round. I think that hurt us a little bit, but, you know, I think we're still in the lead right now. We got to just come back next week and do it. I felt like I drove really well, and the car ran pretty good. You know, just losing lane choice really dealt us a bad card there.
You know, you had a 429 light. You have never driven better than you have the last few races.
We've been working on it really hard, but, you know, you got to just do the best you can do out there. Right now, there's a lot on the line, and, you know, there's a lot of tough drivers out here. We got to do the best we can do, and teams helped me a lot with the car. Jamie's worked on the clutch linkage and stuff and just got it working better, and I've been practicing, and it gets better every day. We just got to be good enough to win.
The plot thickens.
Yeah, and right now, by our unofficial count, it is a 52-point lead by Jim Yates over Jeg Coughlin. Here's the lane choice. Look at this. Wilson, by 4/1000th of a second, has the choice over Mike Edwards. And then Jeg has the choice. And again, in that one, take a look. It's a little bit better by 2/100ths for Jeg over Ken Koretsky. And speaking of Jeg, he's with Bill.
You've had a lot of big rounds this year, and that was one of the biggest.
Yeah, well, I don't know if anything tops that first round at this point, but the way this Powerade season's going, that round could still be yet to come here in the next 4 or 5 races. So 4 races after this one. We got a lot of work to do yet today with Jim going out. We'd certainly like to capitalize a little bit on that, but yeah, we're just going to see where the chips fall and keep plugging away.
And you don't want to give this guy any second chances.
We've got to take commercial break here at the O'Reilly Mid-South Nationals. The racing has been great. Don't go anywhere. Michael Vick leading the Falcons. NFL Primetime presented by Miller Lite at 7:30 Eastern. Kicks it off. 8:30 is kickoff on ESPN. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Bill, it's all yours.
Mike Edwards, a disappointing red light last week in Maple Grove in the final round, but you just beat a 6-time champion on a hole shot. You're 87, beating his 85.
You know, that's how you got to win these races anymore, Bill. You got to leave on time. You got to do everything right. It looks like the left lane might be a little bit better, so we're in the right again probably. So, you know, you do all you can do when you pull up there. Warren, you don't get no better than him. As far as I'm concerned, if it wasn't for Warren Johnson, there wouldn't be no pro stock. So you come in and beat that guy, you've done your job.
You'll have Gene Wilson in the semis.
We've got to take commercial break as Mike gets congratulations from his crew, and that's just some of the crowd here at Memphis.
Is this how you trim your lawn, or is this your method? Why hassle with trimmer spools that tangle, jam, and never work? Make your life easier with the Weed Thrasher, the revolutionary new system specifically designed for your gas-powered trimmer. With the Weed Thrasher's monster cutters, you can trim around rocks, right next to sidewalks, and even up against fences. Ordinary trimmer spools jam. The nylon twine wears down to nubs in no time. And that tangled line is a frustrating hassle. Or worse yet, those expensive plastic cutting blades can break and shatter. But Weed Thrasher's monster cutters are 10 times thicker than ordinary trimming lines. They can't tangle. They're tougher. They last a lot longer. And replacement is a snap.
I don't need to hassle with frustrating tangled lines anymore now that I installed the Weed Thrasher head. This is the best ever.
We guarantee Weed Thrasher will easily mount onto your gas-powered trimmer or your money back. And installing the monster cutters is a snap. Worn down nubs? Give them a thrashing. Tangled spools? Give them a thrashing.
This is easy. It cuts great, and it saves me all that aggravation. It's a snack.
Now, through this special TV offer, you'll get the Weed Thrasher head and 12 tough monster cutters for only $19.99. But wait, when you order your Weed Thrasher in the next 10 minutes, we'll give you a lifetime supply of monster cutters free. Call us anytime and we'll send you more monster cutters. All you pay is the shipping and handling. That's right, a lifetime supply of monster cutters free. So
has visited Memphis Motorsports Park for the O'Reilly Mid-South Nationals. A few drivers have reached milestones at this track, while others have experienced some very frightening moments. We take a look back at some Memphis memories, both good and bad.
Memphis has been good to me. This is the first place I ever went to a final round, back when I had my own car back in the mid-90s, and then to come here last year and win my first national event. Yeah, I got to be excited about this place.
You know, this is really our first big win, so I mean, we've got real fond memories of this track, and it was like a big monkey off our back, because we've been working at this thing so hard and so long and putting everything we had into it, and finally to put it all together and make it happen in such a competitive sport, it was the biggest thrill of my life. I can't recall anything that was more exciting than that win last year in Memphis.
1997, this final round racing John Force for all the bucks, and the car smoked the tires and was a complete inferno. One of the biggest fires, the biggest fire I've ever had.
It hung a rod out at about 800 foot. It was running about 280, and it burnt the rear tires off the car. And when it did that, it actually set the car down on the pan. And when it sat on the pan, the front wheels didn't really took away your steering, and it just went where it wanted to go, and it went to the wall. Then went out in the field off the end of the track and rolled over. And there was a reporter guy standing there that was doing his first story. He asked me what I saw, and I joked. I saw Elvis at 1,000 foot.
The first one that comes to mind is 2000 Memphis. I mean, when our car broke apart and crashed flying through the midair, and it was a real ugly wreck. Final round, had the race won, didn't win. The only thing I think about is losing. That's the only thing I think about. No broken legs, none of that kind of stuff. Not the cars, just losing that round.
Well, obviously, we had a real bad crash here, but for one lousy run to go over the wall and break a leg, you know, in 2000, that's no big deal. That could happen anywhere, any place. We come back to this racetrack, and I think of the good things, and the good times, and the good fans.
Well, here are the guys that have won their first career victories at Memphis. Gary Clapshaw in Funny Car, along with Gary Densham, and joining George Marnell in Pro Stock, Tony Christian in '88, and Scott Jeffrion in 1993. And now let's check in with Bill and get a semifinal preview. He's with Tim Richards.
This is the job for Tim Richards, the tuner for Kenny Bernstein. He's got to get the Budweiser King down the right lane, the lane that hardly anybody's been able to get down today. And he's got to be able to do it quickly enough to beat the quickest car of the day, the guy you're chasing in the points, Larry Dixon. How are you going to do this?
Well, you just take your shot at it. I mean, we're running out of time in this race, and we really can't afford to lose this run, but you can only go so far. It's getting a lot hotter out there, and you almost have to hold on to what you have and say, okay, if it makes it down, then that's it. You know, you just can't take any more chances because the air has gotten a lot worse since we made the last run. I'm sure the track has gotten a lot hotter. So you just hold on to what you have and try to do it.
He's been in this situation before. Remember, he tuned Joe Amato to 5 world championships. Parker?
Well, Bill, they do have an uphill battle against Larry Dixon and Dick LaHaye. 7 times this year that these two combatants have met. Larry Dixon has prevailed in 5 of those matchups. Larry Dixon is finishing final preparations as they warm the motor. He has got his game face on, and he's ready to rock and roll in the semifinals in Top Fuel. Dave?
Well, for Doug Herbert, he's got that unenviable task of the right lane up against Tony Schumacher, a guy he's gone head-to-head with 4 times this year, and they've split it, but most recently, he beat you in Reading, so revenge has got to be on your mind a little bit here.
Well, yeah, revenge is always on my mind.
I didn't know that.
Revenge is always there, you know. Hey, well, I think we got a race car. That last run was good, and we're looking at going up there and stepping on it. We'll see what we got.
You had to talk to Johnny a little bit about the challenges of the right lane. How are you guys going to approach it?
I don't know. I think I've won here in the right lane before, so it doesn't matter.
1999, he won this race. I'd love to do it again in 2002.
Thanks, Dave, and we've got to take a commercial break, and when we come back, it will be time for the semifinals. Top Fuel here in Memphis. And guess
just one. That's right. Kenny Bernstein, Larry Dixon going to go side by side, left lane, LD. He has the choice by 1/100th over Kenny Bernstein. And there is nothing that Dixon would rather do with Elvis than to put Bernstein on the trailer on Kenny Bernstein Boulevard.
That would make Larry Dixon's day. And you remember back at Indy, Larry Dixon beat Kenny Bernstein on a hole shot. Now, if we look at the lights, Kenny Bernstein hasn't been very good in the first 2 rounds, but that's kind of how he goes. When he feels he's got a good shot at winning the round, he just goes out there, basically reacts to the light. Larry Dixon, on the other hand, he hammers the light. Doesn't matter who he's racing. He tries to stay in that consistent pattern. I kind of agree with both strategies because Kenny Bernstein is usually able to rise to the occasion and give Larry Dixon a good race and get a good reaction time. But both drivers are going to have to be right on their game.
It's over. Dixon, there's Don the Snake Bruneau, runs a 4.63 at 315 miles an hour. Bernstein was toast right off the line. And LD in his 13th final of the year, 46th of his career, Dave.
Dick LaHaye, right before the run, told me you were searching for a 4.62. You won the round, but you missed your number.
Yeah, I know it, but I'll take that win, believe me.
How big a win was that?
It's a big win. You know, we're getting back in the season now towards the tail end of it, and we need every round we can get our hands on.
Remember what happened when they got back on these good tracks, too, at the start of the season.
The points lead is now 84. Take another look.
Well, this was surprising. I didn't think Kenny Bernstein would smoke the tires right at the hit. Obviously, they wanted to try to get aggressive. They knew that right lane was good early in the run, and then they were probably going to try to slow it down through the middle because it wasn't quite as good as the left-hand lane. Larry Dixon, Dick LaHaye, they just ran their normal game plan. Great pass, 463. We saw Larry get a little bit loose towards the end of the track, move over towards the center, but that thing still stuck and ran a great 463 at 315 miles an hour.
And Parker is with Tim Richards.
Well, Tim Richards, you had to give it everything when you go up against LaHaye and Dixon.
Yeah, they really did have us covered. That 61 the other day, you know, you put that in your memory, and you can't give it up. You have to go for it.
They'll certainly be back, stronger than ever.
Yeah, this championship is not over. I mean, Larry has got an 84-point lead, but as the helmets come off, let's go to Bill.
Not a complete surprise, Kenny. Your crew chief did everything he could to get you down the racetrack.
Well, yeah, you know, it's just tough. And smoking the tires, we hate it. But, you know, we're all in it together. And you just do the best you can. And we came up short today. And Larry and those guys did a great job. And, hey, I don't want to say it's over yet because it's not. Still got, what, 4 or 5 to go? I lost count now. I'm so far behind. But we appreciate it. And I think, you know, let's do it again next week.
Thanks, Kenny. You got 4 left, and what a difference from here last year.
That's for sure. Our other semifinal, it's Doug Herbert going up against Tony Schumacher. And the Shoe in his 4th consecutive semifinal. If he'd have been doing this at the beginning of the year, we'd be talking about a 3-car race right now.
Boy, we heard him say they wish they'd made those changes in that car earlier because since they moved that engine back 5 inches, I mean, that car has been, I mean, it's been on a rail. It's been very, very consistent. They did smoke the tires in the semifinals last week in Reading, but, you know, here today they've been very, very consistent. You know, 465 and a 464, 317 and 318 miles an hour. They look very, very good.
Bill's got Larry Dixon.
Larry Dixon, it is a very strange sport in which we are. The last time you beat Kenny, it was on a hole shot, that time on lane change.
Well, I don't know if that's the case or not. They might think so. I thought the lanes were real good. And the credit goes to NHRA and the safety suppliers for making that happen. We just, our car's hooked up and going right now. You know, we tried some things. The only time we made it smoke the tires was in qualifying that last section. We were just kind of throw everything out and see if it hooked, and it didn't. So, you know, we knew to back it down and, you know, try to run low 460s and get in the final. It's 3rd year in a row here. Hopefully this is the 3rd time's the charm. Hopefully.
He has never won here.
That's right. Still looking for that all-elusive first victory. What about Tony Schumacher and Doug Herbert? Well, to get lane choice, they got to run better than a 4.637. At the strike, Schumacher with a 470 drives around him. He had a 510 light, 311 miles an hour. Herbert runs a 477, and he left the line in 465. He had half a second almost.
And, I mean, he got the big jump. I mean, let's give credit. Doug Herbert was a little bit deep to get that kind of reaction time. They were both running 260 miles an hour in the 8th. Good tune-up call from Johnny West to get down that lane. They knew that the lane wasn't quite as good. You're going to watch right before they watch Doug Herbert over there. See the cylinders go out right there. That's what allowed Tony Schumacher to get by and get that win.
Schumacher going to his 4th final of the year, 24th of his career, and look at that launch.
Man, he had that front end hiked up. Look at it bouncing that left front wheel. As the clutch stages come in, the torque of the engine wants to grab that left front, plant it towards the right rear, get that car hooked up. You seen him put a cylinder out just before the finish line. Ran 470 at 311. Fell off just a little bit, but still a good run.
Wow. Talk about a race that goes back and forth. It was Herbert at the reaction time and at half track. As you take one more look, we go to Bill.
Tony Schumacher, when you won the U.S. Nationals 2 races ago, you did not have the quickest car, and you beat Larry Dixon in the final. You don't have the quickest car today. You meet Larry again.
Yeah, let's hope. It's going to be a tough round. That was an incredible one to watch, you know. Our race was great. I don't even know what he ran. Winning it's just great. But to watch Kenny and Dixon right now, coming down the last couple of races, and battle like they've been doing all year long, man, I'm still a spectator. It's great to go out and win for the Army and everybody on board, man, but I'm still a big spectator. I love racing. What a great one to watch, man.
The best drivers in this sport are the best fans.
Doug Herbert congratulates Tony Schumacher. There's the lane choice numbers. 463 beats a 470 anytime, and I guarantee you Dixon will be back in that left lane. Money car when we come back here to Memphis Motorsports Park here at the O'Reilly Mid-South Nationals.
Frequent persistent heartburn 2 or more days a week despite treatment and diet change may be acid reflux disease.
You never know when to expect it.
The burn can stop you in your tracks.
You worry about the risk of long-term problems.
I got help. Learn to handle the disease and the risks in ways that make sense for me.
Call this number now for information and a free kit from Prevacid, a handbook on managing acid reflux disease and its risks, a risk alert profiler, a guide to making the most of your next doctor visit, and a 7-day free trial certificate to use if your doctor decides Prevacid is right for you. Prevacid fights acid reflux disease 3 ways. It beats the burn, helps heal the damage, and best of all, staying on Prevacid if prescribed can stop the damage from coming back. Prevacid has a low occurrence of side effects, such as diarrhea, abdominal pain, and nausea. So if you want the power to manage the risks, heal the damage, and stay healed, call now for your free kit.
Thanks to the latest breakthroughs in hair loss technology, it's impossible to tell who is a Hair Club client and who's not. Call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB now and get the latest hair loss update free. Hair Club has been helping millions of people get educated on hair loss and what options actually work. So who is a Hair Club client?
I am.
Call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB for the answers to thinning hair.
The ESPN.com players.
Which cow will win best cow?
Hear ye, hear ye. I cannot think of winner.
You didn't pick a cow.
Gosh, Judge, how are you going to play six-pack on ESPN.com? What do you mean?
To play, you pick the 6 pro football teams to win each weekend. If you're right, you get the chance to win great prizes.
I declare ESPN.com to be the winner.
Presented by Miller Lite.
Semifinals in Funny Car. Will it be Gary Dencham or Tony Pedregon, the 2 John Force teammates, heading for battle? One guy will get to go and face either John Force or Del Worsham. Tony Pedregon, you got to favor him. I mean, this car has been so consistent back in Reading here, but Gary Dencham, the defending event winner, they keep finding a way to get down this racetrack.
Jimmy Brock knows how to make horsepower. The problem is, can he put that horsepower to the ground? You know, you have to race a lane, Marty. I feel that, and Jimmy Brock knows this, you know, you can get fairly aggressive down early, but you've got to slow the car down at half track to get it down the other end without spinning the tires.
We were told that Gary was a little late getting started, had a very short burnout. Red light, Dencham. And Tony goes 493 and 311, and he's going back to another final. In fact, it will be his 6th of the year and 38th of his career, Dave Reeves.
Third time this season, John Force has put 3 Castrol Mustangs in the semifinals, guaranteed at least one in the final with a very nice 493. You guys have been just killing them all day.
Well, we're awful glad to get in that final. These are tough rounds. We got some tough competitors, and the track conditions are good. We're going to hope for the boss for the next round.
You want the boss, huh? That's interesting.
Well, what else can he say, quite frankly? I mean, he's got the whole team watching as we take another look at Tony.
You know, he says he wants the boss in the final, but the main thing he wants is lane choice. Let's watch here. Right down the middle of the course, you're going to see right at the finish line, he's going to put a cylinder out on the left side, drives him over a little bit to the wall. That's still a great pass, and hopefully that will hold off the lane choice, because we've seen the left lane definitely has an advantage over the right lane, especially in the middle of the course. They can get a little bit more aggressive, and that's what they're going to need to do if they want to win here today.
So it's time for our other semifinal. Del Worsham up against John Force. And Del is going to have to come up with a home run ball. He has not been stellar off the tree, and he's also going to be over in the right lane. And as John backs his car up, let's go to the far end. Tony's with Bill.
Tony Pedregon in the cool of Maple Grove last week. You were in the 480s all day, and in the heat of Memphis, you're in the 490s all day today.
Well, that's a little different conditions over here, and not complaining a bit. This car's running steady. It's consistent. Hate to get greedy, but I kind of like to win this thing. We've come this far. Anna, Sissy, Ari, I love you guys, and John or Del, one of them. I'd kind of like to see John win, but, you know, we're trying to catch him in the points, and he's my boss, but still like to win this thing.
We talked about Larry Dixon being winless here, so is Tony.
Well, these guys this year, I mean, they haven't met in the last 6 events. It was getting to be a regular occurrence late last year and beginning of this year. Here we go. Del Worsham gonna do it. Worsham takes out Force. 498, 305. Force runs a 501, and I couldn't have believed that anybody could have gotten down that right-hand lane, Dave Reeve.
Chuck Worsham, you look so excited, you don't know what to do you?
Man, I mean, I still don't believe we beat him. What a great day for Checker, Sucks, and Cragen, and I'll tell you what, just not overpowering the track got us through this one, man. What a great deal.
Can you believe you did it out of that right lane, especially after Force literally sucked the air out of this place that last pass?
You know, I walked out there right before Pro Stock ran up the semis and thought, you know, it's better than it used to be. Still not that good. And we just left it alone and made it. It must have spun because it slowed down.
It was good enough. Bernie Federley, you're racing Del Worsham. You can't leave anything on the table, even in the semis, can you?
No, not at all, no. And we had a little engine malfunction. Looked like starting on itself real early and killed the ET. And it's kind of unfortunate. It wasn't the outcome we were looking for, but hey, that's drag racing.
Marty?
Well, Del Worsham going to his 5th final of the year, 18th of his career, and let's see if we can see what happens to John's car.
Well, Bernie Fairley's talking about gnawing on itself, basically eating itself up like it was too lean. I think if you watch on the right side of the car, which would be left side of your screen, you see it start puffing and the flames going out on the right side. That started early. Shortly after he hit the throttle, we saw a little puff of smoke out of there, and evidently it started burning. So there it is, right over there. You can see it start burning itself, and then, you know, early, but then you saw the big flames toward the other end, and that's what cost John Force the win.
And in super slow-mo, here's John.
That's right over there. See that puff right over there? It's already starting to hurt itself. It's burning pistons, burning the combustion chamber of the head. Whatever it's doing started very early. Took away the horsepower. He just did not have that horsepower. By the time we got to the finish line, it was pretty much dead.
So, it's going to be Del Worsham talking to Bill in just a matter of moments.
Well, when I talked to you after the last round, Del Worsham, you sort of had tombstones in your eyes, but that's proof that you got to run them.
No, you do, and my dad did a great job out there. You know, he made a lot of decisions there for that right lane. Little suspect possibly. He wasn't sure. He said, you know, I'm sure the left's a little bit better. So take a little bit out of it. He said, you know, if it's our day and we go down the track, we'll win this thing.
Well, Tony will have lane choice in the final, but as we just saw, so what?
May be the case. I mean, this was a big surprise. As we take a look, there are the numbers of 493 by 5/100. So over Worsham, Tony's got the lane choice. Stay with us.
Hey, Mr. Manzo. How you doing? Oh, we got the spaghetti things. Oh, thank you. Real fancy wheels you got there. Thank you.
Kendall GT1, good for everyday use.
no matter what kind of car you drive.
Now, there is no up or down. Introducing Mach 3 Turbo. Total comfort whether you shave down or up. A new anti-friction coating on all 3 blades. Plus a new strip releases even more lubrication. So even against the grain, you get less irritation and the closest shave. It's turning the shaving world upside down. Mach 3 Turbo. New from Gillette. Try new Gillette Series Shave Gel and get skin care with every shave.
First, we brought you baseball like no one else. Now, get ready for football. 2 great American sports, 1 super magazine. USA Today, Sports Weekly. Call now for a special charter subscription to the new Sports Weekly. 26 weeks for only $14.95. Or at a newsstand near you. Get your copy of USA Today, Sports Weekly now.
Coming up on SportsCenter, Week 3 of the NFL. Battle of the unbeaten Saints against the Monsters of Champagne. And will the Angels uncork champagne in the race for the playoffs? SportsCenter at 7 Eastern.
Semifinals now in Pro Stock. Mike Edwards, Gene Wilson. And then it's Kenny Koretsky and Jake Coughlin Jr. And first up, it will be the Edwards-Wilson matchup. But before that, let's put a period on Funny Car. John Force is with Bill.
I know you even have to admit that Del Worsham was one of your favorite kids out here, and he just put it on you.
Well, his old heap ran, you know, 98, that ain't really that good. Mine just wasn't as good. He's got to outrun Petragon now. And I love the Worsham family, and they're real racers. But I love our family over here more, so I'm rooting for Petragon. God bless Petragon, still in there.
And the points lead is down to 100 and could be cut to 80 if Tony can win the final. Turn our attention now to Mike Edwards and Gene Wilson. These guys have never met. And Edwards going for his 4th final of the year. Wilson trying to make it to his first ever in his career. Keep an eye on the tree here. Edwards has 9 hole shot wins on the year, but he's also fouled 3 times. Oh my! 407 light for Edwards. But at the strike, Wilson does it again. He drives around Mike Edwards. 685. 200 miles an hour to a 689, Dave.
And for David Mickens, that's exactly what this Mopar team needed to string together some elimination wins on Sunday.
Man, I'm telling you, we're really happy about the performance of Gene Wilson.
I'm happy to have Jack Burnout too, but how about Gene, though? What a great day for Gene.
You bet. Gene Wilson's doing an incredible job, and it's a good job for everybody on the team. For Team Mopar and Dodge, we're really happy to put this car in the finals. We need a win.
And as we tell you the replay, look at how close it is at the stripe.
Well, Mopar's making some power.
Take a look at the incrementals at the 60-foot mark and look at that reaction time. I mean, Wilson did not have a bad light. But at the half track at the finish line, it was Gene Wilson. Bill?
Mike Edwards had a 4:07 reaction time, and you just drove past him.
Man, I tell you what, my guys are giving me an awesome car today. This is unbelievable. I am so happy for Team Mopar, Nickens, Tommy Udd. Everybody's doing such an awesome job on this car, man. I tell you, beat a guy like Mike Edwards, man, that's something else. You know, I'm just happy to be here, first final round, man. I couldn't be more happy.
Don't give that Rookie of the Year trophy to Mark Wisnan just yet.
Jake Coughlin's already lit the top bulb. Here goes Koretsky. Koretsky hasn't been to the semis since 1989 at Senair and Englishtown. Here we go. Remember, Koretsky won on a hole shot last round. He knows he's got to have a good light. Jegs in. Almost dead even. Oh, Koretsky gets crossed up. It's over. Jack Coughlin, 684.
You got lane choice. Way to go. Excellent job.
You heard Jack Senior.
Kind of play the game up there for a second, but this thing felt great down low, and transition to 2-3 just awesome. So let's just keep it up, see if we can't put one in the win column, boys. Good job.
another look on replay.
Kenny Koreski, look, I think he moves over towards the center. As soon as he let the clutch out and just kept carrying it over there, he couldn't reel it back in. Finally got her way out of the groove, had to get out of the throttle. Jeggy made the perfect run. You heard him say it just ran real good, all through the gear changes. Great pass, 684, 200 miles an hour. He's in the final.
And Jim Yates' lead is now cut down to 32 over Jake Coughlin. Bill?
And nobody knows that better than the driver about to get out of the Jake mail-order Chevy Cavalier, as Jake Coughlin is going to the final round and jegging exactly the way you drew it up on the blackboard this morning.
Tell you what, yeah, it's pretty awesome out here right now. You know, we're just trying to make some ground up from what happened last weekend. You know, we got hungry, had that points lead for a race. Felt like a long race, but you know, we're going to work hard to get this car back up on top. And you know, there's going to be 4 races after this one in this Powerade Series. It's going to be unbelievable.
The winningest driver in the class this year could make this Pro Stock Championship academic pretty soon.
He's going to his 7th final of this year, 39th of his career, and he's got the lane choice by 100 over Gene Wilson. We've got to take a commercial break. Stay with us.
It's been called the greatest doo-wop show of all time. An evening of legendary groups. A night full of unforgettable oldies. Now bring it all into your home with the Doo-Wop Gold Video Collection. From the Cadillacs to the Duke of Earl. You'll get 21 vocal group classics. Get Doo-Wop Gold on VHS or DVD for just $19.99. But call in the next 10 minutes with your credit card, and we'll cut the price in half. That's right. You get 21 unforgettable performances for just $9.99. Then preview other great doo-wop videos. Keep only those you want. Cancel anytime. And remember, call in the next 10 minutes with your credit card, and you'll get Doo-Wop Gold for only $9.99. 16 candles. So go ahead and turn back the clock with this once-in-a-lifetime collection.
Use your credit card and call 1-800-842-3311. That's 1-800-842-3311 to order Doo-Wop Gold for just $9.99 plus shipping and handling. Or send check or money order to Doo-Wop Gold, Department 1, Richmond, Virginia, 23280. Call now or order online at timelife.com.
Hey, get ready, Chicago. We're coming your way next weekend for the Sears Craftsman 75th Anniversary Nationals. And then October 10th through the 13th, we'll be in Dallas for the O'Reilly Fall Nationals. And we'll cap off October at Las Vegas, AC Delco Nationals. Hope you guys in those areas will stop by and say hi. We're going to preview the finals in all of our 3 pro categories here at Memphis Motorsports Bar when we come back to the O'Reilly Mid-South National.
On an all-new bank borrowing deal, while Team Kobe is playing catch with an NFL quarterback.
It's this far? This is impossible.
Team Contact is just playing catch-up.
I can't do anything from upstate New York. I feel so helpless.
Both teams have hit the road, but who exactly is driving the bus?
Temper starts to flare. I don't like politics.
10 tasks, 2 teams, 4,000 miles.
There ain't no stopping us now. We're gonna get there.
Bank Borrowing Deal, the new reality game show from ESPN.
Oh, this is big.
No, this is gonna be huge.
It seems like something's missing.
That's because he's not finished yet. This man is an artiste. He's a Michelangelo of the air.
Chevy is going to new heights with 0% APR financing for qualified buyers on every new 2003 Chevy vehicle. That's 0% APR on the 2003s.
This guy is terrible. This is the last time I hire your brother to do skywriting.
Brother-in-law.
See your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealer.
Big, tasty, big, big and tasty, big.
Get a McDonald's Big and Tasty for just 99 cents. Make it a meal by adding medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $2.99. Big and Tasty. Big and Tasty. The Big and Tasty. Only 99 cents. Only at McDonald's.
With Mike Dunn, Bill Stevens, Dave Reed, Parker Johnstone, I'm Marty Reed. We're at the O'Reilly Mid-South Nationals, and the electronics leader Sanyo is bringing us our aerial pictures from the Sanyo Lightship. Sanyo, where digital excitement begins. And want to remind you that next week we're going to be in Chicago, and here's the way we're going to be on the air. Saturday at noon and again at 1:30 a.m. with qualifying on ESPN2. Then Sunday morning, NHRA Today at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and final eliminations at 8 o'clock Eastern, all on ESPN2. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Now, you know, we got Tony Schumacher and Larry Dixon in the finals, and Memphis in 2000 was a very difficult racetrack for both of these racers. That was Larry Dixon's crash. Now, he came out of it, well, he was able to race next week. Tony Schumacher was not nearly as fortunate. When that wing came off and he went over, it was hard to determine what was race car and where was Tony. Well, let's get an update as we preview the finals. Dave Reed is with Tony Schumacher.
And Marty, earlier Tony Schumacher talked about being one of the biggest fans in all of the sport, watching Kenny Bernstein and Larry Dixon. Was almost a fan earlier. You remember he had a big blow-up in round number 1, Sarge, but now we're going to the front lines in one of the biggest battles of the year against probably the mother of all top fuel cars.
I'll tell you what, man, they're running great. Even more importantly, I was the second period that last round. I got to watch Kenny and Dixon once again battle, and Dixon came out ahead this time, and I got to say, we've been real lucky so far in the finals against them, but that's one awesome team. To win this race, we're going to have to run a real low 60.
They made some pretty radical changes for that right lane, but they like their chances, Parker.
Well, Dave, Del Worsham qualified second, but he had a tough ladder today. He had to take down Scotty Cannon, Tommy Johnson Jr., and then the man John Force, and now in the finals, Tony Pendragon.
Nah, that's definitely very tough, but we all know to win the race, you know, at some point you have to beat John Force, and this time in the semifinals, definitely feel fortunate to beat it. My dad made some great tuning decisions. The entire team's doing a great job today. My driving got better that round, just in the nick of time, and looking forward to this final.
Del's 2-1 against Tony this year, Bill. He's liking his odds going into this final round.
Well, in the Pro Stock final, you know, it's really a wash between Jed Coughlin and Gene Wilson in terms of elapsed times and reaction times. Pretty equitable all day long. So I got 2 questions for you. First of all, reaction time. You know you're going to have to be on the tree in this final.
Absolutely. You know, Jeggy, he's a good friend of mine on and off the track, and he's a heck of a racer. I tell you, you know, you're going to have to be on your toes anytime you race him, or for that matter, most of these guys out here, you know, they're all tough, and just going to approach the final round like any of the other rounds and just do the best we can do.
Any shenanigans when you stage?
I don't think so. I've been in a little routine today, and I'll probably go on in and wait for Jeggy. So that's probably what'll happen.
May the better man win.
And we're going to find out who's going to win as the work is getting completed back in the pits, and the finals are coming up.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the Virgin Islands.
Imagine the possibilities of St. Croix, once coveted by the French, Spanish, British, Danish, and finally the United States. It's a colorful melting pot like no other in the Caribbean. Plan your visit soon. After all, this land was made for you and me.
This land was made for you and me.
Oh, come on already. Why is it taking so long?
Pushing the button won't help.
Shh, it's coming.
It's so frustrating. It's even worse than the elevator.
Tired of waiting on the internet? Move to Earthlink. You'll get online quicker and stay on with fewer drop-offs, pop-ups, and spam.
Okay, you want to sit here and try it?
No, I don't want to sit here and try it. I just want it to work.
Why wait? Move to Earthlink and get your first 1,000 hours free. Call 1-800-EARTHLINK.
Want to hook up with a great deal on a great ATV? Then see your Yamaha dealer and get the ATV of your choice for 0.0 APR with 0 down. That's 0% financing on every Yamaha ATV. Plus, hook up with a $400 Warn winch for just $69.95 on all Grizzlies, Kodiaks, and Big Bears. So see your Yamaha dealer today, because at this rate, they're going fast.
Trust me, you will love the new American Sportsman. Our premiere episode, Greg Kinnear goes to Africa and he shoots a rhino with a dart.
A dart? Oh, that's delicious. Why don't you use a water pistol? A dart? Where'd you shoot this rhino? In an English pub? What, you run out of spitballs?
No, this is how we...
Why don't you read it a bedtime story so it falls asleep naturally?
On the old show, they wrestle rhinos between takes.
It's back. The new American Sportsman, hosted by Rich Schroeder, presented by Dodge. Mondays at 8 on ESPN2.
It's time for some serious ground pound, and it's time for the finals in Memphis. First up is Pro Stock. Will it be Gene Wilson picking up career victory number 1? Or Jake Coughlin racking up career win number 28? Lane choice goes to Jake.
Right on target.
Take a look, and nowhere else this year has it been so pronounced, the left lane advantage over the right, and there are the numbers.
Yeah, Marty, we've seen situations where there's a little bit, variations in the lanes, very, very minor. Nothing like we've seen here. I mean, it's about 15 thousandths to 200ths of a second slower in the right lane for the Pro Stock. So Gene Wilson, he's got to focus on doing his job. He had decent lights all day, as has Jag. They need to dig a little bit deeper, make sure he hits those shin points, get that perfect run.
Almost dead even off the line. And the stride the win line. Jake Coughlin,
84 to his 87. Excellent job. Great job. Excellent weekend, guys. That's spectacular. Way to fight back. Good job. Way to go. That's outstanding. Outstanding.
Dave.
Felt like it was one to try and run flat down through fifth gear, but I'm sure it was
Bob McCoffrey, congratulations on yet another win.
Oh, man, I'll tell you, this is outstanding. I mean, the points chase just keeps going up and down and up and down. I can't say enough for our team. I mean, they've just done a heck of a job. I mean, Nick Ferry and Roy Simmons have done our engine job and the cars, Rick Rossiter and Clint. I mean, it's just an outstanding deal. And me.
Jags. There you go. Hard to believe in the last 7 days, Marty, these guys have held down first, second, and third.
Senior did do a good job, and now the margin is cut to 12. Greg Anderson has fallen 83 back, and WJ a distant 4.
Both drivers did their job. 420 reaction times for both Gene Wilson and Jake Coughlin. The difference was 200s in the 8th mile, and that's what we've been seeing all day.
And let's talk to the winner. His 5th time in victory lane this year. Bill?
Jag, as impressive a win as we have seen all year. You did it every single round flawless.
Man, it was definitely power punch. There's no question about it. We had our hands full today. We knew Team Nickens and Gene would be meeting there in the final, but this Jags crew just did a phenomenal job on my race car today, and had a great time behind the wheel. And we got to thank these folks from O'Reilly. It's just a great weekend they put on here. We got in with the weather. It was so poor on Friday, but my buddy Gary at home, I told myself I was number 14 qualifier. It's for you.
The funny car.
And who's it going to be in the final? Del Worsham or Tony Pedregon, going for 2 in a row and 5th of the year. And there is Tony. And again, lane choice, and he's picking that left side.
Well, for obvious reasons, they can get more aggressive through the middle. We've seen a lot, 4 to 5 mile an hour average faster speeds out of that left lane through the middle of the course, and that's the difference. You see John watching there as he's watching his teammate Tony Pedregon get ready for another final round. Del Worsham, on the other hand, did a good job last round. He did just basically ran the racetrack. Said it probably run about 495 and hoped something would happen to John, and that's what happened. I gotta think that's what they're gonna try to do again.
They met once earlier this year in a final at Denver. Del won that one 5-16 to a 5-19. Del's got 5-100, but here comes Tony. A 490, 315. He's won 2 in a row. 5 this year and rack up career win number 18. Dave Reed.
John, how about it, man? You got the win, but that car took off awful quick on your boy.
Yeah, well, that's what we pay him for, to win. And Tony pulled his race out here in Memphis. His car's been running good for weeks now. that credit goes to John Medlin and Dickie Venables and the whole team. So we're excited. It's going to get tough, exciting, but I'm really proud of that kid. That's why we love him.
And the points lead, John, has just been cut to 80. Take another look.
Del Worsham had 400s on the tree. He ran the same identical ET, the 330-foot mark as Tony Petragon, but right after that, you're going to see right there, starts hazing the tires, and that was the difference. And that was the difference in the lane. They tried to get a little more aggressive at that point. Felt they needed to against Tony. The track just wouldn't hold. That allowed Tony Petragon to get by for the win.
Take a look at super slow-mo. This is one bad hot rod right now, and man, this is getting interesting in funny car with these two. Take a look at the incrementals, and you'll be able to see up to 60 feet it was Del Worsham, but at half track in the finish line, it was Tony Petragon. So let's check the points after 19 of 23 events. It is getting good. John Force and Tony Petragon. It's a two-man battle. 80 markers separate them. Gary Densham at 219 back. Let's go to Bill.
Last year you had back-to-back wins in a big English town, and Tony Petragon, you just did it again.
Oh, it's hard not to win when you get Medlin and Dickie making this car dance the way it has been all day. And tell you the truth, I'm kind of burned out. I think this driver deal is psychological. It really is. There's a lot that goes on in the mind of a driver. It's not an easy job, but thank you, Castrol, O'Reilly's. Got a big order coming up. Just goes to show you the strength of Ford and this team here. We're not worrying about anything else. We're not going to celebrate too much, maybe a little bit. I'm a family man. I'm going to go spend a few days with my family, Andrea, Sess, Ari. I'm coming home. I love you guys, and I'm just happy that we won. We owe Dell this one since Denver, and Eddie beat Ford's little redemption. And Parker's with the win.
Dell, this is very much a mental game. Prior to the finals, you're over at Darrell Russell's using his practice tree at 400s off the line, but the race win, like the car, went up in smoke.
Yeah, too bad. You know, I worked really hard. Started off awful bad today, you know, on the tree, and got a lot better as the day went on, and just broke loose. You know, I didn't see him anymore. We were out there, we were running away. It was a great run, and just didn't hang on.
Time now for the Top Fuel final. Will it be Elvis going for a 300-mile-an-hour ride to victory lane? Or will it be Tony Schumacher in the winner's circle with the army of one? You're on board with Tony. Looking for his third win of this year.
Yeah, Tony Schumacher, two of them came against Larry Dixon, the most recent one in the U.S. Nationals in the final round. Tony races Larry very, very good, but, you know, we're talking about the lane choice. You know, there's two different strategies here. Do you just go out there, make the car go down the track, knowing that if Larry runs his normal run, he's probably going to beat you, or do you say, we need a little bit more, let's see if it'll take a little bit more through the middle and gamble that old stick and hopefully get the win.
That other win was back in Phoenix for Tony over Larry Dixon. Final race of the day here at the O'Reilly Mid-South Nationals.
Both drivers have really been on their game today. It's going to be interesting to see who gets the jump off the starting line.
As the lead's gone back to triple digits, Dave Reed.
And for Dick LaHaye, now we can finally talk about first win since Columbus. It's an awful long time ago.
It's been tough. I mean, it really has, but, you know, the guys are so great, and they stick behind me 100%. And, you know, we've been trying to come up with another combination because we had to get away from the thing that we run so well with in the beginning of the year. And it looks like we made the turn and turned the corner. And I just thank God and Elvis. We had Elvis on the car this weekend, you know.
There has been an Elvis sighting, and he'll be in victory lane shortly.
Low ET of eliminations in the final round, saving the best till last.
Great job by both drivers, 460 reaction time. Same thing happened to Tony that we saw happen to Dell the previous run. Got out there in the middle of the course. They probably tried to get after just a little bit, and they needed to because Larry Dixon ran a 460. They weren't going to win unless they would have done that and hoped it stuck. Unfortunately, it didn't stick. Even if it had, it was going to be very, very tough to beat Larry Dixon because he made an excellent pass.
Dixon now has his 24th career win. That's one behind Gary Selby's 5th on the all-time list. Bill?
Larry Dixon, what a courageous team you've got. Dick LaHaye just gave you low ETL eliminations of 460, and now you're back in the winner's circle.
Boy, thought we'd never get back here again. You know, it's kind of poetic justice that the two guys that had the ugliest time here a couple years ago got to be in the final round here. Third final in a row here for us. Got Elvis on the side of the car, you know. He's the king of Memphis. It's just appropriate that we won with him.
Tony Schumacher, Sonny Anthony.
Got my wife at home, you know. My two cheerleaders, Allie and Donovan, are home. And she's getting ready to have a baby. And baby, we got another gold baby right here. So, thank you very much, everybody.
A monumental victory for the Miller Lite team.
His first time ever winning here at Memphis, and take a look at the points. He opens it up to 104 over Kenny Bernstein. It is not over by any stretch. We still have 4 races left, and there's Tony Schumacher. We've got to take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll wrap things up here at the O'Reilly Mid-South Nationals.
I said earlier, when that motor's making horsepower and that nitro is just belching out of them pipes and she's smoking the tires, you can't calm the car down, you can't even cool it down. But you can always cool the driver down. With power. Now, is that sucking up or what?
When you want to be the best, you have to work at it. Time in the classroom, hours of studying. You won't find this kind of dedication everywhere, but you will at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Our team members spend hours in product knowledge and customer service training. Our parts specialists are independently tested and certified by Automotive Service Excellence. When you need auto parts at everyday low prices, go to the real parts professionals. O'Reilly Auto Parts. You want it? We got it.
I'm the new 99-cent BK value menu. You know, I got 11 items for just 99 cents.
Yeah, let him hit first.
No, I'm not going to get in his way. I know when to shut up. My father always told me, you should be seen and not heard. Who likes chili? Well, that wasn't good.
The all-new BK value menu speaks for itself. Now, get 11 items for 99 cents every day. And have it your way in more ways.
Coming up on SportsCenter, Week 3 of the NFL. Battle of the unbeaten Saints against the Monsters of Champaign. And will the Angels uncork champagne in the race for the playoffs? SportsCenter at 7 Eastern.
Today's Speed World event. Final eliminations of the O'Reilly Mid-South Nationals, brought to you by Powerade. O'Reilly Auto Parts, your race headquarters. And the flame-broiled Whopper from Burger King, America's favorite burger. At BK, you got it. And before we get out of here, one last reminder, next week, we're in Chicago, qualifying on noon and 1:30 a.m. and then Sunday, NHRA Today, and final elimination at 8 o'clock Eastern. For Mike Dunn, Bill Stevens, Dave Reed, Parker Johnstone, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Marty Reed. SportsCenter's up next. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. So long, everybody.
The Jets own the Dolphins.
Your last-minute gifts. Save on the year's hottest DVDs, CDs, video games, and more. And be sure to pick up a Circuit City gift card, too. Plus, get this 7-inch widescreen portable DVD player for just $199.99. And save $30 on this Sony 3.2 megapixel digital camera. Only $269.99 after rebate. Save on all your last-minute gifts today at Circuit City. We're with you.
I'm the fantasy football champion. Attention, you are all losers.
ESPN Insider gives you up-to-date info and exclusive content to help you win your fantasy league. How you handle it is up